was, because I fucking spent an hour fucking just... Yeah.
I pressed that. I did press mute, and it didn't unmute me. That was not my fault. That was software. So
Not having it.
I'm not having it.
Nice.
Just making
Fuck's sake.
excuses already.
Every fucking week, man. Every week something goes wrong. Every week. I think episode 13, you know, the unlucky one, was the most recent one which we've had where nothing fucked up, man. Anyway, we are live. Do not say fuck up, bugger. Welcome to High and Homegrown, everybody. I am Mackie. You should know by now I can get occasionally raged. But this week we got a lot going on, man. I think I have COVID. ZN passed it onto the panel by not wearing his fucking mic on the last, not wearing his mask on the last episode. So suffering a little bit. I feel all right because I've had some pharmaceutical drugs like paracetamol, 1,000 milligrams. So gone hardcore. You know what I'm saying? So how we doing this week, lads? Everybody good?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, man. Let's just give a shout out to everybody in the chat there. We got Jody, Jockey, Wooly. I can't even read my own handwriting. That paracetamol has hit me hard, bro. Danksin. What I don't even know what that says. Noob, Monkey, Fish, Kenneth, Vero. I think Twisted's out there somewhere. Red Eye, Black Ops, Fish. Did I mention Fish already? And of course, we have a special guest on the panel tonight. We've got Spartan Grown, because Monkey can't make it. Hurricane came along, so Monkey's he'll be in the chat, but he couldn't take the risk of being on Zoom as well for the show, because the connection might cut off at any time. So
it's quite possible Spartan also had something to do with the hurricane, because he just wants on the show.
Spartan ain't got time for this, man. It was real good of you to drop in, Spartan. Spartan is like our honorary panel member, so when one of us guys can't make it, Spartan's going to jump in and take that seat. So Spartan, you want to say hi? Let everybody know.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here,
Those who
guys.
don't know who you are, let them know who you are and all that.
I'm Spartan Grown. You can find me. Best place to find me is Instagram. Spartan Grown, all one word. There's a lot of pretenders out there that we have to keep getting shut down, but Spartan Grown, all one word. You'll find me, and that's where I can get back with you. It might not be right, the moment you send me a DM, but I will get back to you eventually when I get time to do so.
Nice. Does he say people
And he
making
does,
fake accounts there?
I've had 2 so far shut down.
No fucking way.
My pictures and call themselves something else, or try to call their name. Like the last one was Spartan Grown with a space, so it said Spartan Grown.
I remember that. That wasn't too long ago, Spartan, was it? It's only a couple of months back.
That one, thanks to the community, man. Shout out to the chat, and I happened to notice that on. I was on the GML show at the time that I noticed it, or somebody sent me a thing, and I mentioned it on that show, and it was less than 24 hours, I got a message back from Instagram that that account was shut down, because everybody in the chat, I don't know if everybody, but a lot of people must have reported it, because that was the fastest I've ever seen anything ever happen.
Yeah, it was like cannabis communities, they're just
got up, it was done.
Not all of them, though.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
There's
the
people in between.
Yeah.
We've had some good shit happen this week as well, because we now have an Instagram account, which we didn't have before, because somebody already had the tag High on Homegrown. So we messaged this guy, and after a few days he got back to us, and he was asking him pretty much, can you delete the account so we can have the URL, because we're cheeky fuckers like that. Yeah. But eventually he said yes, man, and because he saw what we do here, we make the podcast, we've got the forum, and we just want to try and get new growers growing. And he's like, I'm happy to give the accounts to you guys. I think they'll be better off in your hands, man. So shout out to that guy. He's Homegrown Green is what his name is now. So if you can find him on Instagram, give him a follow and all that, because we seriously appreciate the sacrifice he made of just giving up his accounts like that to us. And on Twitch as well. So next week, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be streaming on Twitch, Facebook, Periscope, and YouTube all at the same time on Sunday night at 9 o'clock. So check that shit out. Anyway, we're still on the introduction and not the news. We're getting carried away. Zombie, you want to say hello, mate?
Hello, mate.
Here we go again.
Hello.
Any more than that? Is that it?
Yeah, I can do a bit more than
Sweet,
that.
man.
It wasn't bloody COVID Corona. It was cold, and it's gone now. I might have a little sniffle left, but I never gave him nothing.
Passed it over the mic, man. I said last week it wasn't confirmed by scientists. And
Yeah,
look,
well, it was confirmed by nobody because there's too much weed in my system for Cov ID to exist. So it's not happening.
GB, what you say, man?
Hey, how's it going, folks? Yeah,
Same old.
GB here. Same old, same shit, different nappy, as they say.
Mm.
Yeah. You can find me over on Percy's as usual, and on Instagram, under Percy's Greenbeard.
Sweet. I just forgot because Monkey wasn't here. Nobody reminded us to record. Monkey,
Oh
thank
fuck!
you. Yeah. But I can still pull that off the YouTube. I've allowed recording for you, GB. So if you want to hit record now, I can go
I
for
will
it.
do it now.
Yes.
Ha!
High times. Thank you, sir.
Victory.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a good job. I thought about that just then. You see, Monkey? You see what you've done? Where are you, man? Lame. So, TG, you want to say hello?
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm TG, as you probably know or don't know. Temple grower from Canada, and
You
yeah.
sound depressed, mate.
Well, I don't know,
think
man.
everybody's
I feel,
just super stoned, man.
yeah, I feel like I don't know if I harvested this shit a bit early, but I'm feeling a bit off today. But I don't know. I'll just smoke some more and fucking
Hope for the best.
yeah, that's what we do. So
That's all you can
Yeah.
do.
But
You know?
yeah, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. Shout out to Plants Over People on Twitter if you're listening. That's yeah, hopefully you like the show. Sent me some messages and said she's gonna tune in, so that's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know.
Thanks to everybody for tuning in, joining us again on this Sunday night. As you can tell, we are all super fucking stoned today. So I hope you're all super stoned as well. Don't make us all feel bad here. We don't want to be the
I
only
won't
stoned
feel
people in
bad.
the room.
Yeah, I'm way
Right.
too stoned to be the only stone guy. So
You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? So
that
let's
shit
do
up,
it.
man.
We'll move on to the news and events. Here we go. Pow. So what have we got this week? GB, you want to take this first, man?
Yeah, I've got a small little bit of news. It is an Irish medical cannabis firm is after getting big backing from a German cannabis company called Synnabiotic.
Right.
No,
I don't
they're
know who
after
they are.
buying. I don't know who they are either, but they're after buying 25% of an Irish medicinal cannabis company called Greenlight Medicines. Greenlight was founded in 2014, and they develop plant-based medicines for the aim to ultimately treating the market for conditions with multiple sclerosis, glaucoma, arthritis, epilepsy, and various cancers. This is good news, possibly, for Ireland, because if the Germans are coming in and investing into this is the first kind of big investment of an outside source into our market. Our medicinal market is a fucking shambles at the minute.
Whose is it, mate?
No. Yeah, well, it's fucking even worse than yours, man. There's like, I think we have there's less than 30 people able to receive it in a population of just under 5 million. But thankfully, with all this improvements and things in the UK, with the likes of the Canna card and that, we are the only country in Europe that shares a border with the UK. So what happens in the UK normally has to follow suit fairly quick here in Ireland. Because in the south they look at things as an all island approach in Ireland. So what happens up the north has to happen down south. Otherwise it causes big problems.
Especially
so
at the border,
it could be a good thing to see. So the likes of a big company like a German company, especially investing in that could be good things for us here in Ireland that we just don't know about yet.
Fingers crossed, man. It's coming to us all.
Yeah, it is coming to us all. It's
of
coming
time.
too slow.
Yeah, that's a problem. Shout out in the chat there to a big farmer. He's landed as well. CG Mackie, can we get Willie Nelson on the show? I've emailed him. It was sort of in correspondence. He's not doing interviews right now, but I hope to get him on the show soon. It is being worked on. So, and of course, don't think too big, man. If you want big names, then email me. Let me know. I've got no problem emailing everybody and be like, "Yo, you want to come and chat some shit with us, smoke some weed?" You know, people are generally happy to do so. You know? I've tried Seth Rogen; he's really hard to contact. I'm trying to get Mike Tyson. I'm trying to make the list is endless. I'm ridiculous.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, just shoot for the stars.
I've
man.
tried. I've emailed Joe Rogan like 10 times now. Like, sorry
So
to
he's been
bother you again. I
blocked.
know you might be missing these messages, Joe Rogan, because you're very, very busy. So I thought I'll send another one just in case you've missed it. But I am Maggie from High on Homegrown. Well, I would like to speak to you for 30, 40 minutes about how cannabis impacts your life. Blah, 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 blah. Numerous emails around them lines.
Well, I admire your
It
tenacity,
will
man. I
fucking
admire
happen, man. It will happen. I promise you all. I promise you all. I will get Joe Rogan on this show. It will happen.
Yeah. If
Watch.
you're listening, Joe, come on, man.
I'm going to send him a clip of this fucking video. This is a good excuse to email him.
Yeah, everybody's asking
yeah.
where you are.
Spartan, what are you saying about news this week, man?
We just want to know, you know.
Spartan's got some news for us. Something different.
Yeah, what I got, I'm going to paraphrase a lot of this because this was a long article and I don't really want to go through the entire thing, and I'm sure nobody wants me to, but this was from 420intel.com. And I picked it because I'm from Michigan and it's specifically about Michigan. And the title was All Eyes on Michigan as the state's new cannabis market booms. And the whole gist of the article was that a lot of investment is coming into the state of Michigan because of our sales numbers that are coming out. And I'm just going to go over some of those. In December of last year was when Michigan went recreational. Before that, we just had we still have a medical system. But last year, December was the first time that anybody with a license, you know, just a regular driver's license, can walk into a facility as long as they're over 21 years of age. They can get cannabis. They don't need to have a medical referral or anything like that. Yeah. Of course, you're going to get more sales on that side of things than you would the medical side because it's easier to do.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's probably a lot of medical patients who don't actually have a prescription or a medical license who just buy recreationally anyway to treat themselves.
Yeah, there's a lot of medical patients that will do that. They don't want to go to the medical side, or the rec side might have a strain they like better on the med side. So they just kind of go back and forth between the two, but it costs more. You know, the rec side is more expensive because there's that extra 10% tax here in the state for all rec sales.
Right.
So since December, so we went legal in December. So January, the very next month, the first month of legal sales, what was it? We pulled in $9.8 million.
Whoa! In a month.
In 1 month.
Wow.
In August. So a few months ago. So this is in the same year. In the month of August alone.
Well, cough ID's happening.
We're up to 65.4 million.
Wow.
Right. Already outpaced Las Vegas and moved into the number 5 spot within our first year. We haven't completed it yet. As far as total sales goes.
Wow.
Michigan's medical market, so on the medical sales side right now, is number 2 only to the state of California. Now, to understand how big that is the state of Michigan's total population is 9.9 million right now, and California is closer to 40 million. So,
fuck me.
So yeah, I mean, we're right behind them, and our population is, you know, a fourth or less.
That's really
That's
interesting.
on the medical side.
That's only on the medical side.
Yeah.
Damn. Keep going.
So our population for adults only is 7.3 million adults over the age of 21. So that's why all these rec investors are really, really looking at our state. Our consumers spend more on average per visit. So the consumers here in Michigan, I'm just going to say it, I'm throwing down the gauntlet. We're just more educated. We're willing to spend more money on higher quality things. They get into the specifics in the article, and I don't want to get into all of it, but here's just the one that everyone can understand. They did a metric of per visit. Per visit, what's the average somebody spends? In California, they average $64.13 per visit, whereas in Michigan, the average is $84.58. So we spend more per visit too here in Michigan. And a big thing here in Michigan that's kind of not talked about a lot, the geographical location of our state. We have many states around us that don't have favorable laws or don't have laws at all to support cannabis. So people just drive across the border now that we have rec legal. They'll just drive across the border, say, I'm over 21, buy their product, and then go do their thing. So they expect our sales to just, they're expecting over $1 billion of sales. Is what
Whoa.
Like
over the year?
Yeah. For next year, I think they're saying.
Damn, man.
Just
Like
Like
Invero
smoking
said
weed
there
in
in the
the
chat.
dark, right?
Well, Invero said in the chat there, no wonder they want to forbid homegrown as much as possible.
No shit.
exactly. Well, that's another thing right now. The state of Michigan, we have pretty good laws as far as home grow goes. Rec law is that all you have to be is 21 and you have the ability to grow 12 plants at your house. Now, they
No,
obviously
no license needed or anything like that. You can just
no
wow,
license
that's
needed.
sweet.
Does
You're
Michigan
allowed
have
just
somewhere where you can get genetics though? Because that's the
Yes.
thing in here in Canada. Because you can grow 4 plants, but there's nowhere to fucking buy genetics. There's a few companies coming out with seeds now, but you know,
The town that I live in fact, the town that I live in, Jackson, Michigan, they have a place called a seed cellar. It's just a seed bank.
yeah,
Just
that's
like
what you need.
the shop online, there's a seed bank right here at brick and mortar you can walk into. And
Perfect, and yeah, that's exactly what it should be. Absolutely.
You see, it's very backwards here. We have the shops that you can go in, that you can look through catalogs and catalogs of seeds from all different banks from all over the world, but yet we can't fucking grow it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's so backwards, man. So backwards.
They even passed a law recently where commercial facilities, like I worked at Mechanical, they let us know that if we wanted to, we could supply clones to the provisioning centers so that they could get commercial clones. People could walk into the provisioning center and buy, their smoke for the week, and they could get a clone if they wanted to.
Cool, man. But this is the
We
way
haven't been
fucking
approached
should
by
be.
anybody. We haven't been
brilliant.
approached by anybody for clones though, so not yet.
Black market exists in Canada with that exact model here, but in the legal sphere, yeah, it's very limited. And a lot of the companies say they're for home growing, but they don't give you any option to home grow. They're just
Right.
like it's a lip service basically. Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
what are you saying, TG? What news you got this week?
Mine's, I guess, it's a little out of my scope because I'm obviously here in Canada and this is about the States, but I guess Vermont. Vermont has just, I guess they're going to allow legislation to regulate and tax cannabis sales because they legalized possession and use back in 2018, but didn't have any legal framework to actually buy it legally or produce it legally. So, you could have it, but you can't get it, which is kind of, the Amsterdam model where the coffee shops sell it, but they're not really supposed to get it from anywhere legal, right? They just don't ask, don't tell kind of shit. Vermont has decided not to do that anymore. And come 2022, sales will begin, I guess, of flower, of clones, of all that kind of stuff. In the coming months, there's going to be permits for growing, for retail, manufacture, wholesale, and testing labs to become available for application. So that's
Sweet.
promising. It's the 11th state, I guess, that has legalized adult use.
I'm surprised they've
recreational
taken
cannabis.
because Bernie Sanders is the governor of Vermont, I think, and he's been for cannabis legislation for a long time and an expungement of old records as well. So
Yeah,
I'm surprised it's taken so long.
The Vermont governor is actually a Republican, and so the article goes on to say it's from MJ Biz Daily if anybody's curious.
So what does
the
Bernie
significance-
Sanders do? Because if Bernie Sanders is involved with Vermont, what's it?
Is he a senator?
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
he's a
Yeah.
senator, right? And the governor of Vermont though is a Republican guy.
So
his name-
Bernie Sanders would be the representative of that state at the federal level,
Right.
right.
Okay.
dealing with federal laws, whereas the governor, he is just dealing with local matters to the state only.
Okay.
Right.
So there's two different
So,
jobs.
yeah, Phil Scott is his name, the governor.
Wow.
So that's really pretty cool that's gone through. So
Republican governor
2022.
and independent senator. I don't know. Bernie Sanders is a difficult one.
Vermont's
Is he independent? Is he Democratic Socialist? Democrat? I don't know.
Democrat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Vermont's
say
got
that. I
some
would say he's
support,
pretty
too,
independent,
so
but
that's
he's officially Democrat. But I
Yeah,
would
he
say-
reps with the Dems.
Exactly.
See, and what
Trump
you
and
saying, man?
Republican.
What you got?
One thing I've got to say before I'll go with the news. Did anybody but me just notice Spartan disappear in a puff of smoke? He completely vanished.
That's a wizard trick, man. You gotta learn
Awesome job.
wizard school.
In the Gandalf
Awesome
pipe.
job. Excellent. Anyway, my news comes from New Zealand. New Zealand are another country that have decided that legalising marijuana might be a good idea. Oh, excuse me. Might be a good idea. And the people behind this are some of the most respected public health experts that they have, considering that they've just had an election. And these are like the top people in their game according to their political, whatever the word is. Yeah. Anyway,
You know the thing.
yeah, the thing, political hierarchy. Yes. So honestly, my words are disappearing today. Is absolutely.
You should run for president.
You're not the first person to say that today.
Sorry.
I've just got one thing right. 15% of New Zealand adults have used cannabis in the past 12 months. So they must be onto a thing. And I mean, even in like response to the COVID, they're still saying it's a good idea. There he goes again, disappeared. Poof. So yeah, New Zealand are now following. Australia are already in there.
It's coming, man.
All of these countries that were, apparently a part of the British Empire are deciding against it. Why are we so backwards?
Money, mate.
That's an excellent point, Zombie. I've never thought of it. We were all part of the British Empire at one point. We're all fucking legalized. What the hell are you guys doing?
Don't ask, mate. We ain't part of nothing anymore.
It's just kids rebelling against their parents, you know, like anything else.
Everybody that's got a brain cell in this country is buggered off to Canada or America or
Spain,
as it seems now, New Zealand.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah,
you know, and
New
when it does
Zealand
happen,
politics-
everybody would have left it, like the UK. All these big cannabis companies would have left the UK and have gone elsewhere, and then we'd have fresh starts here.
Spain's the point. At the
well,
minute.
they're gonna
Well,
make a
going to
move
Spain.
probably anyway with Brexit.
You're right. yeah.
Everybody's going to Spain.
Anyway,
But the whole positive way to look at it for you guys is that hopefully, it's a big word, hopefully they're looking at it what everybody else is doing and they're learning from everybody else's mistakes. They
Yeah,
feel
we don't learn.
it's going to be perfect.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that's what it is. Let them go first.
Yeah.
I say,
Let them
see
have a
what
go.
the fuck
See what happens.
So some forum news. What we got on forum news? We got the competitions going on. We're gonna have for you guys who are not over at the forum and haven't seen yet. We're gonna have a rock paper scissors tournament. Keep your eyes open for that. It's coming this week. Get involved. You know, we're gonna get some bling. You know, it's a little badge for you to wear. The champion. That's gonna be fun. We're on Instagram now. Like I said, we're also on Twitch. So you can find us on most social networks with just / High on Homegrown. So do us a favor, and everybody's on some kind of social network. They have a favorite. You can find us. So find us on your favorite and follow us or like whatever you have to do on that particular
Not
network.
MySpace. We're not on MySpace yet.
Is that still a thing?
When it goes.
Is MySpace actually still going?
Is Bebo still around?
I think it might still be going. I'm not
AOL.
sure.
What about AOL online?
It's probably
and shit?
there and got about
TikTok.
5 members like other places we know.
We
don't know,
was going
man.
to do member of the month, but we're going to just leave it with Fish because he deserves it until the end of the month, and then we'll start again from the next month.
Yeah.
Uh,
That wasn't the plan anyway because we did it late.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so Fish is an extra special.
He gets an extra
Whoever's
2
job
weeks,
that
doesn't he?
is
Fish
fucking
is
doing a
extra
pretty shit
special,
job.
and there's been promotions over at the
extra
forum this
special.
week as well, haven't there? We promoted a lot of
There
people,
has been some
some
promos.
respected users, some known users. So congratulations to them guys.
Yeah, it's more colourful.
Yeah,
people.
congratulations, lads.
Very cool. All right, and just seen it in Big Pharma, Woolly Bat. I've said hello to everybody, right? Hello to anybody who I haven't said hello to from chat. Shout out to all you're listening. So, I think we should move on to the famous stoner now, right? Ready? Let's do it. GB, this your thing, man.
Yeah, no, this week we are going to have a chat about somebody who.
Oh, so Bob Durbin, I know I missed you, mate. I seen you earlier and I was supposed to shout out, but
Ah, well,
excuse me,
Bob.
I have smoked a
Cut
fair
in
bit of
scale,
cannabis
Macara.
today.
Hey, boob.
Sorry, GB.
Oh.
Start to you, man.
Not really, but
Where was I? Yes. We are going to have a chat about one of somebody who has been known as the father of medical marijuana in California. He has been an activist since the early 70s, actually 60s, I think it could have been, even late 60s, all the way up until his death in 2018. Tonight we are going to have a small chat about Dennis Perron.
Do you remember enough about him because you accidentally deleted all your work, didn't you, GB?
I thought I did, but I deleted the main bulk of it, but I have all of my research, so I'm kind of jumping
Nice.
into one, so it's okay.
Nice.
So
Control
yeah,
Z.
so Perron was born in the Bronx, and he grew up in Long Island in New York, and he went on and he done a stint in the Vietnam War for the Air Force. A stint when he was over there, he actually took part in the Tet Offensive, which was one of the largest campaigns in the Vietnam War. So like he's a hardcore gay too, so that's pretty cool. When he came back from Vietnam, he actually smuggled 2 pounds of marijuana back from Vietnam with him. So that was pretty cool as well. And when he came back, he moved to San Francisco to the Castro district, where when he was in the Castro district, he joined up with Abbie Hoffman's Yippie movement, which was the Youth International Party. We had a chat about that there not so long ago. And in 1991, he was the person who organized the passage of San Francisco's Proposition P, and that was following that was the resolution to allow San Fran residents to consume medicinal cannabis without being criminalized. And that was in relation, he really fought after that because his partner was just after dying from AIDS and was after being persecuted and everything for consuming cannabis. And during this time, Perron was being fucking persecuted by the fucking bill for giving out or selling cookies and edibles and stuff from storefronts and that, and from the Cannabis Buyers Club.
And it's the guy that said that he kissed the ground when he came back from Vietnam, not because he was happy to come back, but he'd smuggled a load of weed in his bag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he
that's
got
the
back.
one. It's the same one, isn't it?
Same dude, yeah, same fella.
Yeah. Oh yeah, funny man, funny geezer.
Shout out to Cannabis Education there in the chat as well. I didn't see you there.
He's met. He was friends with Jack Herrera as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he is friends with all of them.
Yeah.
With all of them
He's
coming
not
back.
man.
Like
he died, didn't he?
He's serious.
Couple years ago.
Yeah, like he walked the streets with fucking good friend of the podcast, Brownie Mary. She was one of the people that we covered.
Cool. Yeah, one of the early episodes.
On the very first episodes, I think it was episode 1 or 2.
Cool.
Brownie Mary was on. Episode 2 it was actually, because the first one was Jesus. And
That's right.
THC.
We wanted to start off controversial, just so we knew where we stood.
Right into the fucking.
No, it was cool, but yeah, no. This dude has since the 70s, he has campaigned. He was good friends with Harvey Milk, who was the first openly gay person to be elected onto the supervisors. Yeah. Something to do fucking elected anyway. He was super. I know this.
He was elected captain of the football team.
Yeah, no, it's because I'm I actually know a lot about this dude, but because I'm stoned and I'm fucking concentrating on Perron,
professional. Professional. Just getting stoned before the show every week.
But
you're right,
yeah, no, he rubbed shoulders with them all, and he's fucking. And in '94, Perron co-founded along with our good friend Brownie Mary and several others, including his husband John Enstill, they reopened the Cannabis Buyers Club in 1994. Awesome. Now, shitty happened as it was coming along up to Perron. He was one of the well-known contributors for the landscape of California's Proposition 215, and just as it was coming up to that, he was arrested by a fucking dickhead wanker attorney general called Dan Lurgan. Now, he confiscated, when they arrested him, they confiscated more than 100 pounds of marijuana.
But
And it was
well, from like his house or something. Was he carrying
no
that shit around with him?
from this was from the Cannabis Buyers Club. And
Whoa.
like they had come in 2 months later after they had confiscated all this. They arrested Perron at home on conspiracy of possession, transportation, and sale of marijuana, and he was being accused of selling marijuana to minors. He was accused of selling it prescribed to people without prescribed medical conditions. All of these charges Perron strenuously denied, and they were all proven fucking thing as well. But like this was all done just before the election for the election for the campaign for Proposition 25, and this Attorney General was big against legalizing medicinal and recreational cannabis. So, and even to the state that like the district attorney in San Francisco at the time, he even turned around and he said, I think he's doing it with an eye on the campaign against Proposition 25 and his ambitions for higher office. So it was all just being done and blacking this man's name. But like this dude, Perron, he was shot and everything. Like he was shot in the leg in one of these raids.
No way.
Going back through the years, like he's a serious dude, in my opinion.
So he passed away recently. Ian said,
and he passed away recently. He passed away in 2018 of lung cancer. That's what they reckon it was. And it was complications. He had lung cancer, and it was complications. He didn't die specifically from the lung cancer. It was from complications from it.
Yeah.
But like he was strenuously opposed to the Proposition 64 and Proposition 19. They were for the laws for recreational cannabis, because he is a staunch believer that there is no such thing as recreational marijuana. He
Adult
said
use.
it's made up. It treats people for everything. It is a medicine, full stop.
I don't know much
Even if
about
you're
them.
not taking it, if you're taking it recreationally, you're really medicating yourself in some way, because you're either going to go out and you're going to get absolutely blotted on fucking whiskey or some shit like that and do something stupid.
I agree with you, but the argument against that and what recreational is once you get your medical benefit and then choose to go beyond that.
Sorry. Yeah, I agree with you completely, Spartan, but I actually read that wrong, the thing for what he said. He said recreational cannabis, and that all people that consume cannabis are doing it for medicinal purposes, whether they know it or not.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Right,
and that's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, I agree with that point, and but I do think, myself included, that I go beyond where my pain's gone away. I don't stop.
We don't want the pain coming back.
Just medicinal. But I guess I could also argue that the effect that I get psychologically is a medicinal effect, maybe.
Yeah,
I think it's a very slippery slope, and you can't argue because it's so. I mean, I don't know. I mean, to define that is it's a very tough thing.
It's pretty much the same as maintenance on your car. You've got to keep it up, otherwise your car's knackered by the time it gets to its MOT at the end of the year.
Well, and like taking vitamin C or that, supplements like that, you don't need to, but and are they medicinal? Yeah, but like, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a shit argument, but like
they're quite happy to keep bunging more pharmaceuticals at you if you prescribe them. So why not more weed?
Well, just the fact that there's plenty of evidence, scientific peer-reviewed studies showing that people who consume cannabis take less of other prescription medication tells me that's providing a medical benefit.
Yep.
Across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's peer-reviewed scientific study. That's not me just saying things. You know what I mean? I mean, people can look that shit up.
Yeah.
And you see, for countries, Spartan, like the UK and Ireland and Scotland and that, we have free medical, so it's in our interest. It's in the government's interest to promote cannabis.
No, it's in the taxpayers' interest. It's not in the government's interest because
well, you know what I mean. Yeah. You know what I mean. I'm on that. roll this. But here, let me finish this quick.
Yeah, because we should move on to grow guides as soon as possible.
We will finish that. Like, he is also known to say that, like, he said that people that use marijuana don't get high; they get normal. He said that the government are trying to say that people that are getting high, that people that again, that doesn't make sense. They're trying to demonize these people instead of that they're just saying, yeah, that doesn't make fucking sense. Sorry. And then this dude,
I think what you're trying to say there is, because this is the thing that pisses me off too, is that you always hear these, especially they tend to be the older generation. The argument is there's no medical benefit; they're just trying to get high.
Yeah.
I hate hearing that.
That's it. So then in his later years, he did run a huge, big cannabis farm up in San Francisco, in California, and the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. Oh, that's who fucking Harvey Milk ran for. Well,
Tangent.
For his.
What day is it?
They recognized him. They recognized him for his activism, and then he passed away sadly in 2018. So it's very important to know who this guy is. He was huge in the cannabis movement. He was huge in the gay rights movement, which is something that kind of runs side and side with the cannabis movement. They were all kind of hung around together in the same place in San Fran. Power to the people and to the hippies. So and it's Piran has left us a very important and a groundbreaking legacy behind him. So.
We've covered a lot of people throughout these famous stoner sections that were just, made a lot of difference to the cannabis movement. It's awesome to find out about these people.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's unbelievable what some of these people
like
have
you
done.
said, Brownie Mary and shit as well. Way back then.
That was an old chick. Like, she was a granny, man. Like, she walking around.
She was.
Good times, man.
She's a
Back
fucking
in those days
legend.
too,
Good
it was
section.
a lot riskier too. Lots more, you
Yeah.
got to put your livelihood at. Now it's easy, especially in places like Canada, where
Anyway,
the work's kind of
the
already
boss
been
is
done. There's still work to
flashing
do,
the clock
but
at us. We should move on to the grow guides. It's Percy.
Oh, yeah.
It's not me. It's Percy. It's Percy. Percy, stop being a fascist.
Percy.
All right.
I never said nothing.
37 minutes past. 37 minutes past. We haven't hit grow guides yet. There's a schedule we're trying to keep. This is not higher on homegrown. Concentrate.
Roll
A spliff or something.
Yeah.
God damn. Strong people.
So what are we covering on the Grow Guides this week?
Let's find out. Yes, tangent, segue.
that's a good segue.
Talking
Very
over
nice.
the music, just because that was a good segue. Okay, grow guides, everybody. Right, so last week we covered the curing. We've done everything now. If you followed from episode 1 all the way up until now, you should have a nice harvest ready, because we're on episode 15 as well. So your shit should be cured, grown from seed.
true.
Everything should be ready. So now we can discuss different things you're gonna be able to do with this. We know the classics of rolling the spliff, rolling a joint.
Gone. Shit.
It goes quicker than you expect as well. Have you found that, lads?
Oh, goes so much fucking quicker.
Smoke so much, man. But and there's a lot you can do with it, and there's a lot you can do with a tip leaf. You don't just have to use the buds. If you get your tip leaves after harvest and dry that shit out, you can make some extracts with it. So we're just going to go through
shake,
different things which
trim.
you can do with your weed after it's done. So TG, you make oil sometimes, right? Is that Twisted?
Sometimes, yep.
Twisted makes oils as well, doesn't it? So what kind of oil do you make, man?
I like the coconut oil. Edibles really don't do a whole heck of a lot for me, which is kind of ironic because I have a medical prescription for my stomach issues, but I like to put it in my coffee in the morning, just a big glob of it every morning, and I figure there's some sort of passive benefits from doing that with the infusion. But yeah, I use coconut oil. Just simple fucking the biggest jug of coconut oil you can get, because coconut oil is kind of expensive. So bang for your buck. And then I use the magic butter machine generally, or a crock pot if I'm, feeling old school. And then I just make some oil and strain the shit out and glob it in my coffee.
Just put it straight in the coffee. Nice.
Yeah. Just like I guess they call it bulletproof coffee when you're putting like butter and all that kind of shit. But this is just like fucking ganja proof coffee or something. Tastes really good.
of the coffee.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
It's the coconut really mixes well, in my opinion, with coffee. It's kind of nutty tasting, so it like I just drink my coffee black. So yeah, it does really well.
So hold on, let's go over what is your favourite way to consume cannabis? See, I'm a joint smoker, man. I just like to
Oh, mate.
spliffs. I put tobacco in mine. You know, a joint is a spliff without tobacco in. A spliff is a joint with tobacco. You know,
Yeah.
you can't get them too confused. They're not the same thing. They are different.
Because we're in the UK and we
In
call
the UK,
it
we got weak lungs from the smog
Yeah,
in
it's
London.
true. We need other chemicals and shit in our lungs.
Get your blunts,
Yeah.
you get your joints, you
Yep,
get your
blunts.
spliffs.
What's a blunt though? You want to explain what that shit is?
Yeah, that's just a cannabis cigarette used with a cigar, emptied out and used as a wrapper, right?
Pretty much
Basically.
tobacco leaf. And they used to use
tobacco
They
leaf.
got,
really blunt.
well, they got wraps, but most of those
Yeah.
wraps will have nicotine lined blunt, right?
Right.
Mm.
Sure.
A lot of people that I roll with will pull that nicotine out, but I've also had a backwoods, which is a nicotine leaf that is used as a wrap, and that was fucking excellent.
Yeah. Because apparently nicotine and cannabis do complement themselves when they're smoked together. The high is different from a spliff than it is from a joint.
Yes.
I still prefer
I still prefer straight cannabis. I don't really like to mix it, but
Yeah.
that one backwoods I had, the Canny Kate rolled that one. She washed it in water and stuff. She looked like a little raccoon over there. But that was great. It was excellent.
Just like the slow burning. They got these new blunt wraps here they're blunt wraps, but they're made out of hemp. So I don't know, they're just called blunt wraps, but they're thick and they taste like kind of like a cigar, but man, just the burn on them is so nice and just nice.
And, this is all shit you'll be putting your buds in, the flower. But if you do make extracts, you can put some extracts in, like your spliff or your joint or your blunt as well. Like you can make some hash, some dry ice hash or something like that. You know, if you make some oils, you can run it down the edge of the cigarette, whichever one you make. You know, either a spliff, joint, or blunt. You can run some oil down the edge to improve the flavor and the high as well.
Yeah,
there's loads you can do with it.
I would suggest you do better to, like, if you lay the paper flat and then put your weed down flat and then put that oil down the middle of the weed. And when you roll it up, it's in the middle. Then you get a little bit better burn that way. If you put it on one side, it always burns slow on that one side.
Yeah.
Just dip it in the shit, man. Dip it in that shit.
We used to do.
I like doing it with hash. You roll it into the little log and roll it right into the center. I think there's probably a name for that type of joint. Right?
No, squidgy black. You know squidgy black?
Squidgy black, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You get that shit, squash it up, roll it into that little worm shape, drop it, and you see how long you can keep the ash on before it drops.
Do you guys have squidgy black, yeah? Have you, TG, you're saying,
Well, I've never heard it called that, but it's very easy to, like, you put a little heat to it and you can easily mold it. It's like Play-Doh,
that's right. What do you call that shit over there?
I have Keith joints all the time, cannabis head.
Hash, I guess, like black hash or.
All right. Squidgy.
Yeah.
Well, Keith joints as well. Like GB, what are you saying, man? You use your Keith from your grinder, don't you?
I store all the Keith up.
Oh, hold on. Just for those who don't know what Keith is, that's like, when you've use a grinder and it's got a little capture thing underneath that collects all the powder. After a while, after you ground your buds, that shit underneath there, that's Keith.
And that is
trichomes that fall off. Some people call it pollen, but
I have a pet peeve. I have a pet peeve about that very thing, the grinders that catch your Keith.
Yeah, me too, mate. Yeah.
I like grinders that catch. See it. There's nowhere for it to catch, so I get it all.
Yeah.
Grind it up,
makes sense.
I don't want to save my shit till later. I want to know.
Exactly. I want it right now.
It's a good
yeah,
point.
no, I'm quite happy with my you see, because I move quite a bit, I have grinders kind of left over. I have one in work, I have one in the truck, I have one in the office, I've one upstairs, I've one in the car. So what I do is I kind of use them all up and then I gather all the keef out of each one at the end of the month. And then
think about how much nicer your spliffs would have been if you included that in the first place.
Yeah, but you see, that'd be pretty
I haven't
fucked
emptied
anyway, my man.
a grinder in a year and a half, man. If I took it out, I'd probably have like a good 2 to 3 grams of like. When I pressed it, it'd be blonde hash, I guess. Essentially,
it's gonna be really nice, though. It is nice.
But it takes a fucking long time, man.
The oil that you were talking about there. What we used to do was excuse me, we put it into like a small little bottle. This is when we were in school, when we get it to be in a small bottle, like for painting your nails. And we used to paint it down the side of our cigarettes, so that when you were having your fag, the teacher would just think you were fucking smoking your spliff or
Yeah.
smoking a fag, but you're actually fucking smoking the pure, and you're
Well,
getting
it used to be on you
so
could roll
big.
called the secret agent, where you hollow out a cigarette, you put a roach in the end, you
Yeah,
fill it
yeah,
over,
done
you know,
that.
the
Yeah,
secret agent. But,
You can't
I
be
seen that.
you can't be secret agent though, because it still smells like shit, man.
yeah, you know, yeah.
So you never get.
Oh, well, like there's no getting around with some fucking weed, man. It's just some pungent shit.
So
Like I was walking today with the dogs. I was walking down the road. I actually gone up to fucking meet our man Bob, and this fucking old dude was walking down on the far side of the fucking road, so, and he just throws me these fucking daggers.
should have threw some fucking stones at him. Mind your
Oh,
business. Don't do that, really. Don't do
I was
that.
looking. I was probably like, I was going, yeah, maybe there is a church up behind me here somewhere. Maybe I shouldn't be smoking this here, but yeah, fuck them.
I
This
forgot what I
Easy
was gonna
Spartan
say.
there. Yeah, it's got the oil there. Nice.
Yeah, what were we saying about oil spot? And you want to take that away? What kind of different oils are there?
Yeah, what I do is I use alcohol extraction to get down to the pure oil, and that's my favorite way to indicate, honestly.
That's quite liquid as well, isn't it? As opposed,
Well,
as opposed
that's
to
all
like-
that's in the art, man. So,
yeah, obviously.
I call my stuff the FSO, which is a full spectrum oil. And what that means really is I'm not going to get into the whole RSO process, but RSO is one thing. It's just an alcohol process to extract the cannabinoid.
Mhm.
My take on it is that same process, but everything done as cold as possible to preserve as many terpenes, flavonoids,
Nice. Good idea, man.
things. And I even boil off the alcohol under a vacuum, which means I can boil it off at a lower temperature, so I get to preserve more and more of those terpenes.
Right.
And so it's more of a watery. It's not watery, but it's more liquidy than what your traditional FSO will be, because I've got more terpenes and more flavonoids and more
Oh,
of the.
cool.
Yeah, the traditional stuff is like molasses, like cold molasses. It's so thick.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
This is also pretty thick, but I just squeeze it off into capsules. You can order empty capsules, and everything's done by weight. So I've had 3 different weights samples sent in and tested, so I know I can guess pretty close potency levels. My potency right now, I can take about a half a gram is about the highest I'll take, and that's 300 milligrams of THC.
Yeah.
Wow.
I gradually increased my dosage until I could get to that point. The reason being is that's the dosage that I shoot for when I'm helping people through cancer, and I've already helped 3 people beat cancer completely. So I'm a big believer in the medicinal properties of.
I'm a huge believer in it myself, man. Yeah.
Yeah. RSO means Rick Simpson oil. Yeah, you're right, CJ.
So we got RSO is Rick Simpson oil. Then we got BHO. What is butane? What's the H stand for?
Honey oil.
Hash
oil.
All right.
Butane hash oil.
So that's made.
So
a
instead of
little
using
different than
alcohol,
using-
it's just different solvents. So
Yeah.
instead of alcohol, it's butane, and butane is the lighter fluid that we use. Not that that's a bad thing. If you got people that know what they're doing, they can get the parts per million lower than the butane that you inhale when you light your blunt.
That's it. All evaporates off when it's done right.
Yeah, you just got to do it right. That's the key.
Yeah, a lot of you have to be careful with butane now, because a lot of the butane contains oils and stuff to keep.
Yeah,
the
you
insides
got to
of the
make sure
skin.
it's like
The
99.9%
purity of your
sure.
butane.
So yeah.
But
be
again,
careful
if
with
you
that
have proper people doing a proper process, then that shouldn't be an
Yeah,
issue.
people watch YouTube videos there.
Yeah, well, that's
apparently
fucking
the best.
That
I
is an
wouldn't
issue.
recommend.
Hey,
I wouldn't
hey.
recommend
I
that.
know.
We are actually on YouTube right now, and we are a YouTube video. There
We
is
are,
nothing wrong
yeah.
with YouTube
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying they're all wrong, but you know, if you do something like that,
Just
this is butane we're talking about.
Oh, by the way,
there's a lot of
speaking
things
about
that can go
YouTube,
wrong.
we're just about to hit we're on 3,990 something subscribers on Percy's Grow Room. We're just about to
Wow.
hit 4K, man. Very close. Sorry.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, well, back to it.
Yeah, we see Spartan. He's hitting his bong there. What do you guys think of
Oh
bongs?
yeah, bongs. We didn't even cover bongs here, man.
Water pipe, you call them, I guess.
I like my bongs, I have to say.
I love
I'm
my
quite
bong,
fond of
man.
my bongs, but I'm quite fond of my pipes as well.
You're quite fond of
Like
your
my
weed, to
chong
be
dog.
fair, G.
I just love my weed, you know. But like I've
Really
really
calm down.
only got into all my extra. I used to only ever just smoke spliffs.
Yeah.
You just spliffs. And since I came into Percy's, it has just opened my eyes completely. And then even just talking to some people, like even chatting away with Dr. Grinspoon and stuff, and chatting with Tommy and stuff, it's opened my eyes to different types. Like I never really smoked pipes. I smoke pipes a good bit now. I enjoy a pipe now more.
See, I just don't do bongs too much because I just don't want the
How many
bong
pipes do you
around,
need,
man.
then?
Because I'll spill things
Oh my
easily.
god.
know?
I collect pipes. What do you do? A different one for each day of the week or what?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
Old school pipe.
Dude, I got so many ways. I always have a way to smoke, man, no matter what.
Yeah, me.
I even got king size papers, and I got 1.25 inch. What do you want, man? I got it.
Yeah, I have to have it all, man. I have to say, I am quite fond of my Chong Dolph. The Chong Dolph just makes you feel, it's like the
It's like
big.
I don't know if you guys noticed this. This is the companion, man. The Cheech bomb.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I just picked this one,
Sweet.
and I loved it because it was the it's not called cone, beaker, the beaker bottom. I
Nice.
love the beaker bottom.
Yeah.
Stands less chance of falling off wherever you put it.
Sweet, man. So as you can
Yeah.
see there, what Spartan was holding, if you're watching the YouTube video and not, if you're just listening, then it's like a glass. You know what a bong is. Everybody's seen a bong. Glass thing, little metal thing that comes from the side. Put some water in it, long chute for you to breathe through. And then you just
How
smoke
long?
It looks
through
like
It's just
The
water
best-
filtration, yeah. You can get
the
pretty
best-
fucking advanced with the perks and all kinds of different.
Yeah, for example, even on this one, you see they call these a pinch on the inside, where that leaves
the ice holes.
yeah, it leaves I don't know if I can be able to show it without spilling shit all over the place, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if I
you
can
can
do
see
it.
it,
But
yeah.
Smoke.
anyways, I can put ice down here, and that pinch will prevent the ice from falling all the way through. So I can cool the column. So when you pull through there, you'll cool the smoke down, and you can pull more smoke through without hurting your throat.
You see now,
Mhm.
things recently have changed because I don't know technology, but we vape now as well. Vapes are like a reasonably new smoking technology, isn't it?
Not
You know,
having any of that.
with the
Volcano's been around for a long fucking time.
Yeah, but you know, more
I-
like the pens, you know, like the packs and the
Oh yeah,
lighters.
well, yeah.
I have to say, I was in agreement with ZN for a long time. I was like, our vapes are fucking shit. I went out and I got the Stars and Bitey Mickle. Or no, it's the Stars and Bickle Mighty.
Listen here, you GB person. I never said they were shit because I don't know that they're shit. Right, what I said was, you don't know what bloody chemicals they're using as a base. So you're inhaling all sorts of dodgy crap, and it's been proven that they're using
Oh, no, this is just,
derivative.
This is just weed,
Yeah,
man.
just weed, not like vapes with the.
It's not a
Talking about
vape.
flower vape.
As in
Pen.
Dry
the
flower, yeah.
incinerator chamber. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, Stars and Bickle, they, and this is just my opinion, totally my opinion. And I've had my crafty from them since 2015. In 2018, they were bought by one of the Canadian LPs called Canopy, and since then, the customer service has gone really down. But they, as far as quality instrumentation, they're quite good. But they're really expensive, and there's probably some other stuff out there now that is probably bang for your buck, and then you get the benefit of
There
support too, so.
has anyone seen these megatokes? They're on Instagram all the time. This is like a fucking just a pen type thing, but you stick it onto your bong and you take a blast out of it, and fuck me, the cloud that comes out of it. Even you can use it as just a straight hand to mouth, and the cloud that comes out is fucking phenomenal. Have a
Is
look
it-
at them.
Is it just a
Megatokes.
fan? Is it just like a fan or something?
It must be. I have no idea how this works. This thing is like
Sounds awesome.
yeah, it's like fucking, the size of a normal, like a vape pen that you'd see people walking down the road with, like an Aspire Tigon or something. It's like that size. It's like a fucking
Do you
big
put it on the
bulb.
mouth? Does you
Put
put
it
it
to
on
your
the
mouth.
mouthpiece?
Yeah, there's a mouthpiece version that goes straight to the mouth, and you press it, and it just is, and just a fucking big cloud comes
Wow.
out. So have a look at them. They look really cool.
Got
I
galaxy
keep on
for
meaning to
turbo in
order
it.
one. They're about $200, I think.
Oof.
You know, but then they have a double one, which is like two of these things that go into one
That's it.
chamber.
The thing
It's
is,
a
they're so
twin
expensive.
turbo.
You know, they're not cheap for the initial setup there. And if you want to change from smoking joints to vaping, it's going to cost you some money, and you might not know if you're going to like it or not. It takes some
Oh
time to
yeah,
get
no,
used to.
it costs a lot. Like I've
And
spent over €1,000 in the last fucking 6 or 7 months on fucking
find a
tubs.
friend with one first and try it out. You guys ever seen one of these in my profile picture? It's called a nectar collector.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Oh,
But the
cool.
brand is a nectar collector, but it's for vaping concentrates. Basically, you take your torch and you light up the end of that, and you have your little cup with your shatter, your butter, what have you, and you just basically touch the end of that you've gotten really hot into the shatter, and you suck on the other end, and it vapes it, and it collects all the residual in that little chamber in the middle, and they're absolutely fucking beautiful pieces of just art as far as
It
glass
looks like a
blowing and
syringe, is
It
it?
is so
Yeah.
nice.
Well, that's just that shape. They basically just think of a glass straw. You can make it.
Yeah,
Is that not an
A glass straw with a metal
overcomplicated way
tip.
of doing a
basically,
hot
yeah,
dog?
yeah. Basically,
Yeah.
I mean, it's but yeah, they're very cool. And if
All
you're
I
into
need
the shatter and the butter and
draw and
stuff, they're
two
Well,
Coke
definitely.
bottles, man.
Well, that's it. As we go on to shatter and things like that, dabbing is a thing as well. Does
Dabbing,
anybody do dabbing?
I
detain
don't
or
dab.
ring. Sounds
I dab,
painful.
yeah. I dabbed earlier the podcast, man.
Yeah, you
I,
dabbed like last week and like nearly died before we started the show.
We watched ya.
Yeah,
So what's
yeah,
dabbing,
yeah.
man? You want to hit that up, TG?
What dabbing is just smoking, or effectively you're vaporizing. You're not really smoking it, but you're vaporizing your concentrates. So your butters, your shatters, even like stuff like bubble hash, if it's pure enough, that I would constitute as a concentrate. Not that hash isn't, but you do get some residual shit in your classic hash. But concentrates are just very high potency products. 60-70% plus, even up
Yeah.
to the 90s. Um, so yeah, it's just the resin, like Spartan was saying about the BHO and whatever the other concentrate we were talking about was, the ethanol, the RSO, and the
Oh, yeah.
full spectrum stuff. Yeah, concentrates are generally made with hydrocarbon extraction using like butane and hexane and those kinds of things, and then they purge it. And I don't exactly know the details, but you can get different consistencies using different methods and infusing different things. Like you can whip it into this really nice consistency butter stuff, or you get the hard shatter. Um, yeah, so basically it's just really high potency concentrated resin that yeah.
I've never
effectively.
dabbed, man. I've never done a dab. It's hard to get that kind of extract here in the UK, and I don't want to use a lot of my weed to make it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, it's getting popular over here. It's fucking expensive, but it's all these kids on fucking YouTube, or not YouTube, fucking Instagram selling it.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
Do you
they're
see the
all
guys on
saying
YouTube
not
with that
sellers.
fucking gram and a half long dab, and like there's I don't know, that's kind of
And it's just
silly to me.
it's stupidity. It's just a fucking waste of good weed, man. Because you're not going to get any more stoned or taking a fucking big dab like that than you would if you just took a fucking normal, like fucking 0.2 milligram or fucking 0.3 milligram dab.
But you ain't going to get 500 viewers if you just do that, are you?
True. Did you see? There's a fucking dude that does beyond. I can't think of his name. He's on Instagram and he has one of these dab fucking things, and it's got 12 chambers in it. And he
Wow.
fucking puts like a fucking lump into each one, and then somebody fucking comes along and slips on all of these little things that move all the little beads inside them, and he just
Whoa.
and he sucks the fuck out of it, man. And he's
Damn.
he's got like a big, huge grey beard going down to like past his lips.
He's going through
he-
midlife crisis. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I want to look cool to the
Serious.
kids,
Oh, I can't think. I'll see if I can find his fucking name actually, because he's actually pretty cool. You should have a look at him.
Man, there's so many different
But-
ways
but-
to consume weed. What you saying, TG? You got another one?
Anybody been to Jamaica and smoked out of a real steam chalice, like they talk about in all the songs and
No.
shit?
I have
Yeah.
been to Jamaica, man. I just have not smoked.
They're, I guess, the traditional Rastafarian kind of way to do it, and they're effectively a vaporizer. That I'm not sure really how they work, but they have hot like stones or something that press against the weed, and they get cooled through water, and it looks really cool. And it looks like, I guess it's pretty healthy, and like while you're vaping it, so I mean, Yeah. But,
This pipe's from Jamaica, though.
I mean, then there's a shitload of different kinds of edibles as well. But I think we're gonna have to leave that for a different episode, because there's a lot of different kinds of.
And then you can make
edibles.
bath bombs.
Yeah,
Everything. The girls like
so
the
much.
bath
Lotions,
bombs. Boys. Yeah.
shampoo.
I like the bath bombs, man.
Massage oil. No.
Man,
Get
there's
kinky in the
so
bedroom
much
and then
you
tell
can
them,
do.
hey, you're gonna get high as a cat on my THC oil.
That's actually a good point. Topical is great for people with sore hands, arthritis. Like we talked about Captain Picard, Patrick Stewart the other day. He loves the spray, right? That's a topical.
He
uses
sprays
spray
on
for
his arthritis, yeah.
Yeah. So fuck yeah. That's a great way to utilize it, especially with trim and stuff. The lower potency, flowers that or the parts of the flower that you cut off. That's not always the best to smoke, but
you could just use fucking so much.
I've got loads of that stuff waiting to be used.
Yeah, me too.
I'll throw it all away. I only keep my buds. I know, sacrilege.
Chocolate brownies. Whoa.
I usually donate. Like in Canada, it's easier because we're allowed to give, gift cannabis or whatever. But I usually try and give all mine away as much as I can, so it can be made into meds for fucking people who can't or don't know how to afford the shit. So it's like, fucking put it to good use. Even if you don't use it, give it to somebody. That's the way to go.
Well, I think we should do a part 2 on this next week.
I think that's funny, GB.
We'll do
No, sorry, man. I was flicking through the Instagram, having a look at something. It was like this old granny. There was some dude giving her stick, and she towards and gigs him in the nuts and walked away.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was
Getting distracted.
Unprofessional. Sorry.
What's wrong with you? You've been smoking that devil cannabis.
Yeah.
Too much, man.
There's so many ways, to use fucking. And every country, every area seems to got their ways that they like. But yeah.
Everybody's using it somehow.
Roll it up, light it up, smoke it up, get high.
Grow your own. Make
that fucking song that I fucked up.
Make some oil, make some hash.
Yeah,
hash the one, man. The dry ice hash is
lotion on your cack, like that song. Right?
The one thing you guys didn't, here's the one thing you guys didn't bring up, and it's the easiest thing. Get your trim tray. Get your trim tray when you're trimming, and just collect dry stuff.
Yeah.
That's just like Keith.
And scissor hash, man.
It's true.
Yeah, scissor hash when you trim.
Yeah.
Man.
It's good.
Super easy.
All trim is it's the sugar leaves that have less, trichomes per area, but the trichomes are still good that are on there. So if you can get them off and fucking use them, then damn right.
Try and save as much as possible.
Yeah.
There's a really, really good little bag. It's called the trim bag. It's about 220 or 230 quid. Do you remember we seen it, Mackie? When we were in that fucking. You stick all your flour into it, and you literally just shake it in the air, spin it towards you. It's like a barrel shape.
Nice.
Oh, you've used it?
Yeah, I'm saying I don't recommend it.
No.
I didn't use it myself. But I was processing trim for somebody who did, and I have never seen so much bud in trim before in my life. Maybe he was doing something wrong. I don't know, but when I saw that, I instantly said to myself, "Well, I'm not buying that thing."
Oh, good fucking thank you for telling me that, because I was gonna order one next.
I'm gonna buy one to use.
Unless you're looking at making oils and shit out of it all anyway, then that don't really make a difference then.
I have heard that some people will do use them if they have large go through, like an outdoor, and they'll actually trim the top buds, but then the secondary buds and stuff, the larvae stuff, they'll run that through that trim bag.
Yeah,
I've heard.
Yeah, you see, I only grow small, so I fucking hand trim each one down with love and care.
Sound like me, man.
You just
keep doing that.
Yeah.
Right, so we should move on to strain of the week this week, and this is down to you, ain't it, Spartan? Let's do the jingle-lingy sound. Oh no, that's the wrong one. It's the drum sound.
It's a sound anyway. What the fuck was that?
What the fuck was that?
I know.
Just make sure we're on the right section here. We are good. Spartan, it's down to you, man. Tell us about this strain you've got this week.
For the strain of the week, I picked Han Solo Burger, and one of the reasons for that was because it's one that we grow at work, so I'm very familiar with it. It's a very funny name. I don't really know how they came up with the name, but the
Good
genetic,
name.
yeah, the breeder was Skunk House Genetics, and what they did was they crossed a GMO cookie with a Larry OG, came out with a 70% sativa, 30% indica. At least that's what they say. As far as the thing that stands out on this thing is really it's the taste and the flavors and the aromas. It's one of those weird garlic. Garlic is the first thing in the pheno that we use that hits you super garlic, and then there's this weird funk that comes in around behind it. It's also got like at the very end like exhales and stuff like that. At the end, it kind of leaves you with a little bit of spice, like pepper or something like that. You know what I mean?
Sounds really good.
Yeah, it's a high tester for us too. I mean, we've had as high as total cannabinoids, like all the cannabinoids put together, the highest we've ever had on any test, and it was 40%, which means that almost half the weight of the bud was cannabinoids.
Whoa.
Wow.
Now THC, the highest I think we hit was 33% or so, but that still is it's a really high THC.
Very high, yeah.
Yeah. Now the way it looks, like when you look at it, it's the buds are green, but in the buds, like just randomly, you'll see little pieces of purple, you get like mixed in, which is a really unique and cool look. I think I really love the look of it.
Like freckles.
Bag appeal is super awesome. And then the pistils, they turn like that burnt orange, that really almost fluorescent orange at the end. So it really stands out against the little bit darker nug, and it just paints a great picture. I mean, I just love the look of it. One of the other things I wrote down was the way it grows. For us in a commercial facility, we're really looking for something. This is the GMO that's been crossed back to the Larry OG, so it's really going to be stretchy, kind of a stretchier strain, which we love because we can put them in under the nets and let them grow up and fill up that net without us having to really coax the plant too much. So for us, we leverage that stretch to fill the nets.
That makes sense. Yeah, good idea.
And, it's always a big yielder for us too. So another plus. And it's like literally, we just had a call from somebody we saw at the provisioning center, and they said, we want to get some more of that Han Solo burger. And he said, well, we just gave you a shipment like 3 days ago. And they said, oh, well, I know it. We want more. We're every 2 weeks, bro. But yeah, that stuff goes fast, like super, super fast. So obviously the public also likes it. So it's
Sweet.
popular strains.
So this only in cutting form, I suppose, just exclusive for you guys.
Yeah, well, it's I'm sure you could probably, if you got a hold of the breeder, I'm sure there's still seeds available. I think. No, to be honest, or at least there's crosses that he's made with the Han Solo burger. Like I did look up the webpage, and he had a Han Solo burger crossed to another Han Solo burger, so it'd be like an F2. And he called it burger or something like that. But it's a super popular strain. And what was the other thing I wanted to say about? Oh, I wanted to tell you about the high. The high is pretty nice because it starts like it's a little, like you get a little bit of a heady, almost like a daytime effect, but then it just settles into you're not doing anything. You're done. You're gonna sit there and watch TV or something, but you're not going to be too motivated to do much. But the pain relief and all that comes with that.
Sweet.
Nice. Sounds like something I want to try. It's very tempting when you see 33% THC there.
Yeah, I've gotten a question in chat. Richard D wants to know what the average weight off of it is, and what we are like our averages in our rooms for all of our strains put together. The low end would be acceptable for us would be like a 40-pound harvest out of one of our rooms, and I think the highest I've seen is 60 pounds out of a room.
Wow,
it's just perfect.
60 pounds of weed.
Yeah, we 2 weeks too. So and we have 6 flower rooms. That's how we're doing that. But
fuck me dead, that is a lot of ganja, my man.
Yeah, that's not even counting the whole plants like you guys do, GB. That's just bud.
Yeah, that's 150 plants per room is what we're running.
Yeah.
On a Han Solo burger, we're usually always at around 50 plus. So I would say it's on the more than average. You know what I'm saying? It's on the plus.
Yeah. Nice, man. Okay. Do you know who the breeder is?
Yeah, the breeder is Skunk House Genetics.
Skunk House Genetics.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to check them out, see if we can get some of that tasty goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit tempting that is with the 33% THC and all them cannabinoids in there. Nice
Ah,
fun.
it's a
I'm
Good
really
choice.
thinking about taking a
What's
fucking
wrong with
trip.
people?
As soon as this COVID is over and taking a trip to the States and doing just a little tour of fucking all the cannabis places.
Maybe it'll be legal in the UK by then. We'll see.
Yeah.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
So we should move on to the interview because I didn't even mention the interview all the way through the show, and it's with Jorge Cervantes. So let's get on it.
Saving the best till last.
Yeah, so Jorge Cervantes, we all know who he is, right? Everybody knows Jorge Cervantes. He's been around
Oh,
for
yeah.
so long.
Oh,
Is that bloke that wrote the book?
Yeah. He wears the black
The
dreads.
book.
Well, he used to. He doesn't anymore. But back in the day, before internet days, he used to wear a black beret and some black shades, black dreads. You might have seen him in some videos and some early DVD box sets, early YouTube videos when YouTube first came out. He was there. You know, old school
He's
guy,
he's
man.
the old school.
VHS before DVD. You can see him on VHS.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
where I first seen him was on VHS, man. I mentioned it in the interview.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He's been in the game for so long before everybody else is in it. You know, he's the one who first started all of this.
He's one of those guys. Yeah, he put himself out there before most other people. That's why he had to wear those funny looking
Yeah.
dreads and his shit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he was teaching people, and it's crazy to think. Like we kind of touch on it a little bit in the interview. How many people probably have learned from him and then taught other people, and then just like how many weed grows is he responsible for?
For fucking
to see
so
it,
many.
Just
He's like he's like Moses when you think of it. He brought the commandments, man. He put them in fucking paper and set it out to us.
You know, and I don't even think he realizes that, man. I don't think he knows how
he
important
doesn't.
he was
He's
to
such a
community
cool,
back in the
chill
day.
dude.
Mm. And so he seems to be doing a little bit less now. He's writing a new book. You mentioned, right?
Marijuana horticulture, new version of that.
Yeah,
I think.
new
Right?
version. Yeah. So he's still working hard on the writing and all that. We had a good conversation with him, man. It's a massive pleasure because I'm a big fan of Jorge Cervantes.
Yeah,
You know?
I've taken most of what I learned. Like obviously there's other forums and stuff, but his book is like his new Cannabis Encyclopedia is very concise and it goes through in a very logical, linear way on how to grow. And there's so many examples. He covers everything, and there's a lot of stuff, that you should probably do a little bit more background reading on, obviously, because it's like some of the stuff gets in pretty deep, but it's such a complete thing. And I mean, it's I can't imagine how many people it's fucking allowed to kind of get off the ground, because it is kind of like intimidating when there's so much information out there. But yeah, he's good at laying it out in a very simplistic way, and very cool guy. Pretty cool guy.
So let's do it. Let's put this interview on. It's about half hour long. We were there for 2 hours, man, as we usually do. We chat for so long with people. It's good fun. But we have to cut it down, unfortunately, and make it podcast friendly and shit. So here it is. Jorge Cervantes, everybody. Enjoy. We'll be back in about half hour.
Yes.
I just start off with saying it's a massive pleasure, Jorge, and I just want to thank you personally for joining us. It's a massive pleasure. I'm a huge fan, man.
Thank you.
I've got your book here, the Cannabis Encyclopedia.
Oh yeah, that's a
Yeah, I
good
got
one.
it. I think.
It's a lovely book. Yep, TG's got a copy as well.
Yeah,
And so have you as well, Cody, ain't you?
Yeah,
Cody's got a copy too.
Pleasure to meet
cool.
you, George.
Hey guys.
I've had it since 2015, since it came out. It's been my grow Bible, like we all use it as a grow
Same.
Bible.
Oh, good. So you're all in the UK, or where's everybody at?
But I'm Mackie. I'm the host of the show. I'm from the UK. And we
Okay.
have Temple Grower. TG, you want to say hi?
Yeah. I'm a temple grower. I'm up in Canada, actually, up in Saskatchewan.
Oh
Legalized, I
wow.
guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have smoke up there?
Oh yeah, it's it's smokable, but it's expensive, and
No, I meant
the-
like smoke from the forest fire.
Oh. We here in Saskatchewan, we did last Friday. Actually, it was super hazy here. It was
Really?
good.
Is
We
that
had weather
bad?
advisories out. Yeah, it's cleared up now because it's been raining and windy and stuff.
Okay,
But,
good.
Right.
But yeah, it was bad for a couple days for sure.
And then we have Monkey Do.
Hey, how's it going, Jorge? I'm Monkey. I'm from the southern U.S.
And we don't have smoke down
Okay.
this far south, but we got smoke all over the U.S., including in Oregon right now.
Yeah, I used to live in Oregon. I was born there.
Yeah, that's a
And-
really bad fire this year. I'm told it's like 10 times worse than any other year, and I'm not exaggerating. They got 10 times more woods on fire this year than any other year.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty
that's bad.
amazing. I watched it.
is.
I watched it on the television here, and it's like, whoa.
And then we have Cody there as well.
How's it going, Jorge?
Hey, Cody, pretty good, pretty good. Where are you located at, Cody?
Ontario, Canada. Legal weed. It's beautiful.
Okay, yeah, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. We're kind of legal here.
You're in Spain, right, Jorge? You're in Spain right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, yeah. I'm in Barcelona, Spain.
Cool.
There's the front window. Can you guys see that? That's just looking down the
Beautiful.
street.
Man, that's
Nice.
beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
it's
quiet.
still light here.
That's
It's
gorgeous.
still light here. It's quieter now. This damn virus thing.
Mm.
Virus
How are you
thing.
finding it? Are you staying indoors? Are you going out much?
No, everybody goes out. You know, I go to the pool too. I continue to swim and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
Is Spain still pretty bad?
yeah, it is.
I guess relatively.
You know, a lot of the young people. But then I was talking to this Russian guy today, right, over in Perm, and he goes, "Yeah, don't worry about it." He goes, "Half the office, half the people where he works have it." So,
Oh, no.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh, no.
He goes, "We're all gonna be okay." It's like you get kind of sick, it's not so bad.
Was you a
don't
little
worry.
bit concerned when he said that, like being close to him?
Yeah, actually, I'd seen him last year, but it was too long ago. He
Yeah,
thought he
alright.
goes, "Oh yeah, I think you already have it." That's what he said.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's what my auntie
That's
says,
brutal.
too.
yeah, but you know, I mean, those guys weren't too worried. He wants me to come over there in February, and I'm not sure. I think that's a dumb idea.
It's strange. When you're watching TV shows and films now, and there's like a large group of people, and you're like, should they be doing that? You know? So it's okay. This is pre-2020. Yeah.
Right.
Weird.
It feels strange
Right.
watching movies with big crowds in now. That's how long it's been.
For us, it's really weird, you know, because Spain's got big crowds. That's what they have a lot of.
Yeah.
And
And Cannabis being cancelled as well. That was a bit shit.
yeah, that was canceled right at the last minute. And then they canceled it again in September, but he waited till the last minute to do it so the insurance would pay for any expenses because it was beyond his control. He waited for those guys to put in the control, you know, that.
Yeah, you have to play the game, man. It's still got to be a lot of money to close an event down like that.
Oh yeah, it's been real hard on business here too. You know, it's
Yeah.
Spain's been particularly, and it's the worst place in Europe.
Yeah. Well, for now, the UK's catching up, right?
Yeah, the herd's catching up, I guess.
We're all pretty screwed, man. So what are you up to
Yeah.
down there in Barcelona? Have you lived there for a long time?
Yeah, I make 20 years here.
Oh, cool. You're growing some seeds out there? You're making new strains or something?
Yeah, no. We just live here. You know, I mean, mainly I just do writing and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, I live in like right in the middle of the city, so it's kind of hard to grow tons and tons.
What are the laws like in Spain? I know it's kind of like don't ask, don't tell kind of, or at least that's what I was.
Well, in
I
a
always
lot
thought
of
it was, but-
places, it's like that here. But yeah, you can grow for personal consumption, but you're not supposed to be able to see it from from the street and stuff. And
Right.
then two, we have social clubs, and not every city has them, but we've got them here because we're like kind of like a lefty city.
Yeah.
And we've got social clubs where you can go for a donation. You can they'll give you a token of their gratitude, which is always cannabis.
That's because the sale of cannabis is still illegal. One of them.
Yeah, you just got to use
Loopholes.
the different words, and now it's starting to get a little bit slicker. Actually, they just cleaned up my favorite club. So what is what it's called, and it's all cleaned up now. It used to be kind of like a dump, a dive, and it was really like homey, and now it's all cleaned up. It's like I don't know.
Trendy.
Yeah, you just can't get comfortable because you feel like you can't make a mess.
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
I still make a mess. That's not-
So the Cannabis Encyclopedia, that is a huge book with so much information in it. How long did it take you to put something like that together?
Oh man, it took fucking forever. Like 6 years. I was writing on
Oh.
that forever.
Oh, that's a long
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
it's like tons of research. It was still pretty. It was a lot easier to do research on that book than it was on the marijuana horticulture. That was the hard one to do research on because, well, I mean, it was like pre-internet, really.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now you can get tons of stuff on the internet. It's way easier to.
Yeah, it's so easy to do research.
And people, the experts are a lot more willing to come out, it seems, too, nowadays, versus
Well, yeah, you're
back,
not
you
going to
know.
go to federal penitentiary.
Exactly.
You know,
Now times have changed. That's it.
Yeah.
You spearheaded all of this. You, as you said, pre-internet. And
Yeah.
I remember watching like a VHS.
Yeah.
Not like a DVD or an internet video, a VHS recording of Jorge
Absolutely.
Cervantes in his
The
black
big
dreads
dreadlocks.
and his black his sunglasses on.
Okay.
Right,
And they were the
right.
first videos I started to watch, and that's what got me into this whole thing in the first place was them videos.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah. So
we-
thank you, Jorge, for getting me started
sure.
in this whole game. You know.
Yeah, we shot that up in that first video, which was really a good one, actually. Shot that up in Vancouver, BC.
Yeah.
That was with High Times.
And you
it
had
was
some
so-
huge plants in the you were growing them in tires, I think, in the ground. Or you went outdoors.
Oh,
and there's these
later, yeah.
huge plants, man.
Yeah, later that was like number 3. I think it was an outdoor one. Yeah, and those, yeah, those were Joey's plants. Joey Berger. He posts his Humboldt local. And he just had a real good year, you know. I mean, you don't have a great year every year, but man, he had some big ass plants that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they were really, God, they were huge. They were like, 15 feet tall.
Yeah, massive.
And a lot of those,
Inspirational.
a lot of them produced like 10 pounds.
Whoa.
Serious weed.
Yeah.
Now your one
Yeah,
video
it
on
was-
YouTube, the Cannabis Expeditions, Green Giants of California, where you go down to the
That's it.
northern
Yeah.
Cali. Those
Yeah,
plants,
that's
like,
it. That one we did here. Right.
oh my
I've watched
god,
that a few times.
yeah.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
babies were huge.
Build a treehouse in
But
there.
see, that's possible, and I mean, it's totally possible. You just got to have like acclimated dope and start them really early and indoors, and then plant them outside. Get them. Well, those guys, a lot of those were grown in the ground. It costs too much to grow them in a big container.
Sure, and indoors as well. The amount of light you'd need to cover a plant that size. Huge, man.
I sent
yeah,
that
you couldn't do
video
it.
to a couple companies here in Canada because the weed here is like, it's legal, but it's expensive, and they don't grow like that. They grow many plants, but there are obviously regulations and what have you that are making it cost a lot of money. But I mean, that seems like, you say in the video there's 10 plants and you're getting 350 pounds out of that. Like, really, I mean,
35
why
pounds
isn't
a plant.
everybody?
My gosh.
Yeah.
What, whoa.
Cody,
Unreal.
No, that
are you listening, buddy?
Oh,
That'd only be like 100 pounds. 10 plants, and still that's a lot of dough.
Yeah, Cody's just got 3 plants outdoors this year, and it's his first outdoor grow, and he wasn't expecting them to take over the world like they have.
it was it's my first in the ground plants that I started early, like you said, and I was hoping for 6 feet, and they're 9. And
good.
I don't have enough room to harvest these things.
Big ladders.
Let's all get our violins out for Cody
Not
here.
a problem. I'll start driving right now. I'll just haul some of it back with me. It's okay.
Wow. Well, that's a good problem then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all you got to do is get them in early so that it gets really well established and a good root system developed. And then when the hot weather hits, they really put on growth.
Oh, they took off.
Once they have a good vegetative stage, that's what it really takes.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
And he's been using a very special book as his Bible for this grow.
Yeah. Yeah. They,
And you won it in a competition, didn't you?
Yeah, I may have won that on Percy's.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
So we had a competition where you had to search for a pangolin throughout the forum. and anybody who found it won a copy of the encyclopedia. So
Oh,
it's pretty
cool.
sweet. Yeah,
Cool.
man.
It was a popular one, yeah.
We like
Oh,
to
yeah.
keep things interesting.
Yeah. Good. Well, it keeps everybody interested there. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, can I ask you some of the stock questions that you probably get on every interview, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Like, what's your favorite strain?
Well, I always like the haze, but here, I get this Northern Lights 5 Frosted Haze,
Yeah.
Yes,
and that's really good.
that's
Yeah.
beautiful
That's
stuff.
what this is.
We were just
That's-
talking about Northern Light 5 last week, weren't we?
We were.
Yes,
Exactly.
Mr. Nice originally did that, did they? Or which breeder? I can't remember.
Nobody really knows this yet.
Hmm.
It's coming out, but that was supposed to have come from this guy, this Indian guy on Vancouver Island, right? He was supposed to have had like 11 of these, and they were supposed to be the best seed, blah blah blah. So 3 of them were really good. Number 5 was the best,
Right.
and yeah. And then after that, so that was this big story. And then so I was talking to Steve Murphy last summer. I was in Seattle, and Steve Murphy, I've known him forever. He still owns it, Indoor Sun. It was the first grow store in America.
Oh,
And it was
cool.
in there in Ballard. Ballard's kind of like a suburb of Seattle. And so what happened was this girl that was in India, and she goes and sends a nice big bunch of buds to plants the seed.
Oh,
and
back.
then he grows plants out. And these plants are seeded because nobody knows how not to make seeds, right? And so then, since he had just started this store, this Indoor Sun, he starts giving them away to everybody. He starts giving seeds away to everybody that buys lights.
So then they just grew them all out and found the best one.
Yeah, well, I guess, I don't know, but that's where it came from, and it wasn't an Indian. It was this guy that came back, I mean, it was that was like not a story. That was, the guy, he didn't do that, and it was Steve Murphy that did it, and it makes sense. Everything he said makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing benevolent about it. He was selling lights, and he got this great dope, and he started giving away seeds. So it makes sense that. Right?
Yeah, it does actually.
Occam's razor. Simplest is usually the truest. Yeah.
And I've known him. I've known Steve for like 30 years, or at least, or more than that. Yeah.
You find this a lot, though, don't you? It's like breeders don't really get the people who come up with the original strain. It's hard for them to really get some acknowledgement for what they've done. He just really gets lost in the community.
He didn't really care. I mean, he's not really a breeder. He just grew those out, and they made seeds. He's like, oh, cool. I'm going to give them away and sell some lights.
It's like UTG.
That's exactly what,
Yeah.
I fucked up and I left a male in the plant or in the tent and ended up with 9,000 seeds.
Usually that's what happens. And those are the stories I believe. But, this benevolent Indian guy, I don't think so. It just doesn't happen like that.
Yeah, playing the
It's fun
sitar
to-
and smoking a shisha.
The mythology of it always, guy, it's like the game of telephone where somebody tells someone one thing and then it keeps going and going and going.
Lives up,
Eventually, it was
that was
Jesus,
right.
Anyway.
And I think
Yeah.
most
So-
strain histories have gotten to that point, TG. It's been told so many times and added to so many times. We don't know where
Oh,
half
yeah.
stuff really comes from anymore.
Well, especially the originals, like the
Yeah,
Northern
that's
Lights
true.
and the hazes and skunks, these kinds of things. It's
Well, we know
hard
where
to pin down.
we know where the cheese came from because we spoke to Milo himself.
That's exactly right. We did.
Yeah.
Milo, right.
So I suppose you've met Milo, right?
Yeah, sure. I love Milo.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, man.
He's so
We had a good
funny.
interview.
He's so he's so big, and he's just so nice.
He's a
You
big
know,
bear, isn't he?
Yeah, and I seen he used to run around the trade shows talking about every third word he said was cheese.
This is what Danny Danko said as well, because we spoke to Danny and he spoke about Milo as well, and he said he's just going on about, this is it, mate. This is the UK cheese. This is the UK cheese. Quality.
That's right.
So you used to write for you was an editor for High Times magazine.
No, I was a writer, never an editor.
Okay.
I just wrote for him. I had a
Just
column
just
for,
wrote for High Times magazine. It's nothing special. No.
yeah, but I had a column for like 10 years. 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be an editor. That you have to fucking sit in the office and shit.
You have to
There you
read
go.
then.
Would get old.
Now I understand. Yeah.
It's better just to write stuff and send it to the editor to check it. That's cool. You know,
Send it to
that's
the
how I
guy in the
like to
office
roll.
to fix
Yeah,
it.
this is where I've been. What have you been doing, buddy?
That's what we do with the podcast. I just talk shit and then I leave and go do something else, and then
Yeah.
you do all the hard
Lucky
stuff.
fixes it, and we all take credit for it then.
Then we send it to the editor.
Yeah, well, yeah, but anyway, yeah, that company's changed a lot.
Yeah, it seems like, hey.
Michael Kennedy died, and he was the guy that really ran it. You know, I mean, well, it was his company, and
It's his baby, you know.
major
It's the
stockholder.
people who create these companies. It's more than just a company to them. It's their baby, isn't it? Their creation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was like first it was Tom Forsyth, but he was his lawyer, right? He was Tom Forsyth's lawyer.
Okay.
And Tom, you know, was a marijuana smuggler, and then he got into coke. He got into a lot of stuff. Anyway, yeah, and then Michael, like, basically was the rudder of the company for a long time, you know, or the magazine. And then when he passed away, then all the shares were traded or something, and now this venture capital guy, Matt, and that other guy, Levin, Anthony, and Andy Levin. Yeah, that's it, Andy Levin. Those guys. Well, anyway, Matt, I thought he's okay, but I think he gets kind of like like to see all that money. But they're supposed to be raising, like now they're supposed to be raising over a year. They're supposed to be raising $50 million, right? 50 million this way, and they value their shares like $11 a piece, right? Which is ludicrous because it's like penny shares, right? They don't have a fair. Well, the fair market value is like 3 cents, right? And so then they only can raise $5 million, and the print magazine went out of print for, I don't know, that was several months ago when the COVID thing hit, because magazines, you know, they have a hard time getting distributed now.
Yeah.
And it was bad, but now the virus makes it worse. So anyway, I'm not sure what's going to happen with those guys, but I can't see anybody investing a bunch of money in them right now or for a while, because all the cannabis companies, you know, some of them are doing well, but I think a lot of them aren't doing so well. You know, the COVID thing can't help everybody. It's what I'm guessing. I think a lot of retail stores could be doing pretty well, but I'm not sure about the growers, especially a lot of those growers got smoke on their dope, you know? So
yeah,
that's true. A lot of people lost a lot
they
of
could
money
have
right
trouble with their crops.
That's it. If it doesn't burn down, it can get the smoke damage on it.
It's still worthless.
Doesn't sound like a good time.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you can wash it. I'm not sure to what extent, but you can wash it with potassium hydroxide, you know, H2O2.
Okay.
Yeah, and a dilute bath of that, and that'll take off a lot of stuff. But you still could have underlying smoky tastes.
The peroxide bath, that's basically good for just about, is that like the best way to wash your buds for outdoors?
Well, yeah, or indoors too. I mean, if you need to wash them, yeah, because it washes off all the mold, anything that's on there. Because there's a lot of crap on there. There's a bunch of dirt on there.
I'm fighting powdery mildew right now, and I was reading your book there, and I was using a solution. It said I think 250 milliliters in 1 gallon. I think about there of 3% hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah, that's quite. It seems like a bit, but pretty heavy dilution. But yeah. I mean, you just put that in there and it lasts for a while. You can skim the scum off the top because there's actual scum that shows up.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people are scared of bud washing, but I've tried it before and it was real nice, man. Cleaned up the buds well.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not bad at all because it's like rain, you know. I mean, you got to afterwards you shake the bud off so it gets, you know, the big drops come off, and then just turn the fan on it. You know, that's all you do is to turn the fan on it, and it dries out real well. And then you can either trim it up or just dry it like that.
Yeah, dry trim. That's the
Yeah.
best way. I love doing a
Yeah,
dry
'cause-
trim. It's so easy. So
Yeah.
Jorge, have you met Tommy Chong? You must have.
Yeah, he was in High Times a few times, couple of times, not a few times, just a couple of times. I met him there. Actually, saw him there both times.
That would be a cool session, man. Just
Oh
chilling
yeah,
with
he's a
Tommy
cool
Chong
guy.
and Jorge.
No,
Yeah.
he's a cool guy. He's really famous. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, you know, I write books. He's like a movie star guy, right?
No, but when it
So-
comes to weed, though, you're like a huge name in the cannabis industry.
Oh no, he doesn't even smoke. He hasn't smoked for a long time.
Yeah, I think he's back to
Chong.
smoking now. He
Oh, he
quit for a
is?
while,
Okay.
didn't he? Yeah, he's
Yeah, he
back on
seems
it.
a
Yeah,
lightweight.
yeah. When I knew him, he didn't smoke that, but that
Yeah.
was like some years ago. Like,
He's not the
I
big
mean,
stoner everybody thinks he is, though. for
oh
sure.
no, he's smart as a whip. But yeah, I gotta commend him, man. I mean, he's just stayed with it over the years. And what's his name? The other guy, the Mexican guy,
Cheech Marin.
Cheech
Yeah.
Marin. Yeah, he came back too. You know, but everybody's
is-
going to cannabis these days. I think. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what's his name?
The world
John.
wants weed.
No, Jim Belushi.
Yeah,
Jim
yeah,
yeah.
Belushi.
Belushi
He moved
Farms.
into Southern Oregon. Over, you know, a bunch of my friends live down there. To Southern Oregon and bought a big ranch and farm and everything. Well, he's growing a lot of dope out there apparently, like
Yeah.
some acreage. Yeah, gonna go
He's,
into this in a real big way, but he's putting in his time. It's amazing.
He tweets a lot about that on Twitter, and he's been talking about the fires a lot. He's been having, obviously, being in Oregon, he's having issues with that. So
Kind of surrounded
Oh
by 'em.
yeah.
yeah, but no, his
Yeah.
weed looks great. Like really nice stuff.
Oh good. Okay.
Is there any,
Yeah.
any recent news on that?
I haven't
GG.
no.
No, I haven't heard anything.
Other than just pray for us, kind of stuff like that. But
They've
Yeah.
had a
Not-
few
It's-
small rain events out there that have helped the air quality, but I don't think it's not really slowing the fires too much.
That rain didn't help slow the fires. I thought it would. You know.
It helped clean up the air, which was a big concern because they had, severe poor air quality in many major cities. So at least the rain did wash some of that out for them. That's a positive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think they need time and luck at this point. They need the winds to lay down, and they basically need these firefighters to have a chance to get a hold of this thing.
Yeah, a bunch of growers are going to get burned out. Several
Yeah.
years ago, a couple of my friends got burned out. Fucking burned like, one place burned like 17 acres. His
Oof.
whole, yeah, it was pretty rough.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I suppose you can't get insurance for that. So it's just it's just a complete loss. Yeah.
Not these days.
No,
at least.
no. And then I was texting with him here recently, and well, last week, and he said there were big ashes coming over.
Yeah,
You know-
that's another problem they were having is even in these farms, some of these ash were just kind of raining down and sticking to the flowers. So now you're going to have to clean flower
Right.
or trash crop. And
Right.
that's terrible. That's a lot of money, a lot of investment for these growers. I don't know if some of them aren't going to make it back from this.
yeah, like we were saying, the small businesses that
Mm.
only have that as their asset, they're not going to be able to just restart. Not to
Mhm.
mention the loss of all the genetics that we were talking about earlier too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's tragic.
All
Wow.
the people not getting their medicine too.
It's a damn
Now-
shame.
With
Yeah.
all the time you spent in the cannabis community and all the sessions you probably have sat in on, what is the most memorable and famous one you could tell us about?
Like memorable and famous. I don't know. I forget a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's why I asked memorable. I mean, I can't ask you to tell me about something you didn't remember.
Oh, good point. Good point there. You know, boy, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't think about it so much. I've been able to hang out with people I like real well. Well, Howard, knowing Howard Marks, I mean, that was really cool.
Cool.
That'd be really cool. Yeah.
You know, he passed away a couple years ago.
Mm.
Yeah, knowing him was pretty cool. Being able to, travel a bit was cool.
Yeah.
Going to hanging out in Mexico and going to the big mafia gardens, seeing how
Great.
those work.
That kind of stuff would be really sweet.
Yeah, that's kind
Like,
of weird.
Were you scared at all?
Huh?
Were you scared at all?
No,
In
not
Mexico,
really.
no?
I mean, it's not like somebody's got a gun on you or something, Now,
That you
that's
can
when it
see.
gets scary, but
Yeah,
just
I
because
guess
those
you're not
guys
there to
have
do
them.
anything bad.
I suppose it might, like, back in the day, it might have been a bit different too. Like in the start of your book, there's that picture of Ben Dronkers with
Oh,
those
yeah.
guys in Afghanistan with the AK-47s and stuff, and he's just like,
Right.
oh, it looks like he's having a great time, but
No,
I
it
mean,
was the
you know
one
what
that
you're
went.
doing.
The one that went over there first. He had a great story about it. Was Neville Schumacher? He started Seed Bank.
Yeah,
He said
absolutely.
he went over there to get seeds, and they said, "You're not here to get seeds. You're here to buy hash." And he goes, "No, I just want seeds." And they didn't believe him. And then there was this one guy. He said he had a vein across the top of his forehead, right across that. Yeah, and an AK-47. And every time he'd like move, that vein would pulsate. And yeah, he was like one of the guard guys, right? But they made him buy hash because everybody goes there to buy hash, right?
Right,
And if he didn't buy hash, something was wrong. So he had to buy hash. Yeah.
That's pretty trippy. Like, I want
And you
seeds.
ain't got to
You
argue
want
with
hash. Okay, well, I'll take hash and seed then.
Yeah, whatever you want, sir. Just whatever you want. Can I just leave?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, you spend all that time and energy getting there. You don't want to go away with nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And and you want to go with all the money that you didn't spend. You want to go away with that too, because those guys can pretty much take all your shit.
You see, completely different risks that people had to take back in the day. The pioneers of all this shit that's going on now.
Oh yeah, Neville had steel nuts, man. It took somebody like him, and that was probably his spookiest trip.
So you don't have any like big grows going on or anything right now, like growing in Spain? Or
No,
like it's just a little home thing.
No.
Nothing
But
at
I'll
all.
tell you what,
Wow.
those guys at Dinafim got popped.
What?
There's an ongoing 15
What?
people they arrested. I don't have an inside.
Jesus.
I don't have a whole story.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. I haven't looked really hard. Yeah. It was an article in the paper. It was one of those short articles, like 500 words, that didn't tell you very much. And 15 people were arrested. They had they were manufacturing stuff again, and it was like a catch-all phrase against la salud pública, like public health.
Right.
It's against public health stuff. And so you go, what the hell does that mean? That means kind of like everything, right?
Right.
So you don't know what they're charged with, but he got arrested and he was in the slammer. I know that.
Damn.
Wow.
And
Hope
they had
everything's all right
trouble
there.
before some years ago, and got through it just fine. And now this might not be, might be a big deal.
Yeah, so Jorge, I'm sure you've got stuff to do for the rest of the day.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I'm going to go out and drink a beer. I want to go out and have a cold one. It's like 8:30, and I could do that.
Sounds like a
getting
massive
dark.
Then
Excellent.
I'll go watch the American news. You can get here. Oh my God.
You can
So
watch it from me.
depressing.
I think I'm going to maybe skip that tonight.
Oh, good. That's probably good. You probably feel better tomorrow.
Hey, do you still have those shirts on your website with your, like, I guess, silhouette of a face,
No,
but
that was-
THC molecule?
That I'm just shitty with doing all that stuff. It was like that was just too much work to do.
That was such a cool shirt.
It really is a good shirt. My artist came up with that. Chris Valdez. He made it all out of like THC molecules.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the face
Don't
out of
think I've seen
molecules.
that.
Yeah. No, it's real creative, and it looks okay. It's not the one of those like Che Guevara that everybody has.
Right. Yeah. I always check the site to see if there's more of those because I had it in my cart and then I don't know, I must have smoked some of this fine cannabis and forgotten. And then yeah,
Easy to do.
never ended up getting it, but
Hmm.
yeah, very cool.
Yeah, that was a good T-shirt, but it's just too much trouble to do. You know, I'd rather just fuck off.
It's hard work, especially when you're running it on your own. Yeah,
running a business. My wife does it. Actually,
Cool.
she's good at it.
Yeah,
and I'm not.
Hey Jorge, I have to take a phone call from head office here, but I just wanted to say it was an honor to meet you and talk with you, and look forward to your next book. This was a
okay. Thank you.
Cheers, Cody. We'll catch you in a bit, mate. I hope you're not in trouble.
Later, Cody.
Oh, no, we're good.
I hope cold call's not for you.
All right. It's great to meet you.
Yeah, man. Catch you later, Cody.
Hey, Cody.
Okay, take it easy, Cody. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna take off. I gotta return a phone call to my friend too.
Awesome.
Who called meantime.
Like Cody said, it's been an absolute pleasure. Anytime you want to come back and chat to us, you know, the line's always open. Just say
Massive pleasure, man.
Anytime you want to speak.
Okay, cool.
And maybe once the new book gets a little closer, you can
it's-
come on and talk about that.
It's been real comfortable too. A lot of times it's like, oh God, all these questions, and you have to wait for the fucking announcer or for the radio advertisements.
Oh yeah.
And then
We don't do any of that. We like to consider it like we're chilling and we're having somebody around to come and chill with us. We're not going to bombard with questions. Just like we'll have a conversation.
We're talking to a friend. That's all we're doing.
That's
Right.
But it's been a pleasure, mate.
Same here.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys hanging out and taking the time to talk and stuff. It's very nice.
Anytime, mate. Anytime. So you go and enjoy your beer.
Okay, I sure will.
Man. Thanks again, and thanks for everything you've done for cannabis.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're a legend.
Okay, I sure will.
Have a good day, mate.
Okay.
Bye.
Cheers, mate.
Yo, so there we go. Hit that like button if you're enjoying the show so far. That was Jorge Cervantes. What a legend. I hope you enjoyed. What do you think, lads? You was all there talking to him, right? Apart from Spartan, unfortunately.
Edge, man.
Yeah, GB was there, but he was there later in the interview, so you didn't actually hear him throughout the show there. Yeah, I had to cut you out, mate.
No, I came in very late.
It's another one of those interviews, man. It's like, we've been growing weed as long as we have, and I never thought I'd be able to chat with Jorge Cervantes, just like Tommy Chong, just like the rest, and it's fucking a privilege, and it's super cool to just bullshit with these guys, because
crazy, man.
I mean, they've done what they've done, but yeah, I mean,
to take the time out of their day to just come in, because we're only on episode 15. We're just a small little podcast right now. We will grow as we, we're nearly on 5,000 downloads this week. We should hit 5,000 downloads. We're doing pretty well. But, all these guys just happy to take their time out of their day to just come and chat some shit with us. It's awesome.
And we kind of only do like really personal growers. We're not really aimed at these people that want to make money out of it. No disrespect, Spartan. You're a proper commercial jobby working.
Yeah, that's it. We're not here to.
I grow from my own supply too at home. Yeah. So I grow with love at home too, bro.
We're not here to fund the unregulated market, pretty much. We don't want to have any kind of involvement with that.
That's the word I was looking for.
For sure. So there's loads of books by Jorge. Loads. Just Google them and find them, buy them. They're always good. Always packed with good knowledge. Yeah, his website's good too.
Links to his he's got great videos on his YouTube. One of my favorite videos is that Giants of Humboldt County that I was talking about. And I watch it like on a monthly basis. Usually when I trim, it's one of the videos I'll put on, because it's just, I don't know. I love watching those fucking trees. 35 plants or whatever it was for 350 pounds. Like,
it's crazy.
Wow. And all legal, all legit, and just beautiful to see. So it's inspiration, right? For sure. Guy's
such a cool guy.
Definitely.
That's it. He started me off growing, as I said many times, man. It all began with Jorge for me. That was the first guy who introduced me to this shit. So, to speak to him, we did get a big fanboy. Yeah, for sure. When it was harder to be a face in the cannabis industry, when you could get sent down to prison for a long time for that shit.
Yeah.
Crazy shit, man. And he just seems to be chilling now, doing some writing. So that's good for him. So buy his books. Support Jorge
Yeah.
because he's fucking done shitloads for all of us. You know,
sure.
I should have left the
Sure.
link in the description. I'll make sure that's done after the show. I'll make sure I put a link to one of his
Yeah.
books in the description, man. So you can go buy that shit. You won't regret it. The Cannabis
What's his
Encyclopedia
web-
is epic.
His website's marijuanagrowing.com or
Yeah.
something to that effect, I believe. So
Just
yeah,
Google Jorge
check.
Cervantes, man. You'll find
Yeah,
everything you need.
So,
basically. Yeah.
if you've got a new book coming out, you might want to wait until it does instead of buying a back issue.
No, buy back issue and this one.
Okay, do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's all good shit.
Oh,
On,
okay.
on Amazon,
Happy to
you
listen
can
to that.
you can download it quite cheaply onto your Amazon Kindle. It's
Sweet.
like fucking £4 or £5 or something like that.
Nice.
Mm.
Right, so there we go. Thanks for listening, everybody. We're going to move on to the what the fuck was that bit now. So here we go. Spartan, I don't know if you remember these sections, man, because he was here on episode 2, 13 episodes ago. It's a long time. But this one,
Yeah,
we
I
just
remember.
got a little sound clip. People have got to try and guess what it is. Zian, what's your thing, man? Yo, hello, Zian.
I'm still here.
Yeah, you're still here. Did you
That's
mute your
fine.
mic again?
It's nothing to do with my mic again. I was always here. I've touched it again. It was just you probably muted me just in case I was going to cough or something.
I expect them. I know when they're coming. I can tell by the breathing
Yeah,
pattern.
exactly. Yeah. there's lag between us. Anyway, nobody guessed last week's because it was a bit of a flipping a specific, and I wasn't being a pain in the ass and being all flipping what's it about getting the details right, just in case anybody thinks I was. It was a can of silly string.
Okay.
Everybody knows what silly string is.
All right, let's listen to it. Here we
Yeah.
go. I hear it now. I hear it now. You said it.
And nobody got it, so yeah, bad luck, boys.
Oh wow. You've got to pick the difficult one sometimes. But that wasn't
Yeah.
too. I thought it was
difficult
WD-40
one
or something
sometimes.
like that.
Yeah, it sounds like air coming out of a tire, maybe, or some shit like that.
A few good guesses though, a few good guesses, and some of them were very, very close. But I didn't want to give the game away by saying you are very, very close, so I didn't.
Okay.
Is it bad to say I've never heard one of the what the fuck is that sounds?
No, because I usually mute.
You've got to
I
sort of
just
estimate.
unmuted it right now, but yeah, you gotta time it right.
Right.
I know what they are. Haha.
Nah, so do I. I can hear them.
Cheater.
But I still
Cheater.
don't know what they are. Right, so here's this week's one.
You got this week's one.
Yeah, I've just played it.
Oh right, okay, I can't hear that. I
Yeah,
didn't
I'll,
do
I'll play it again. So just so.
that. Hang on.
Okay. Go. Okay. What's up, Zian? You good? I'm hanging on.
Yeah, that's right. Go now. Go.
Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. It sounds like a cat trying to escape out of a box with polystyrene in the box.
It's not.
No? Oh man, I can't fucking believe it. I've got to be close with that. No?
You are,
Ah,
you are so fucking excruciatingly close.
no way.
No. Oh.
Do I win the prize if I get it right?
You can have the prize, you bastard. No, so a big, massive clue for everybody. Mackie was so damn close.
Oh, get out there, people. Win that shit. I'll
Win
split
that
it with you 50-50.
Yeah.
Right, good luck, everybody. Remember, you have to come and put your guesses over in the forum as well. It don't count.
Yes, very much
If
so.
they're in the
forum.
chat. You have to go over.
Not
Well, I like that. I like that guess in chat.
Not in the chat.
Farmer.
CE.
Yeah, polystyrene.
Yeah,
Unpacking a new light. Ooh,
it's
ooh,
one of the
remember?
best sounds ever, right?
Get them over to
Yeah,
the
for
forum.
sure.
Right, so here's Q&A, everybody.
You know, like, it's been almost
Q&A.
guessed 3 times. Fucking. No, it's not ZN snoring. There's another bloody clue.
Red herring. Yeah. Right, so on the
ZN,
listener
nice.
Q&A, we did have a couple in the chat there, but we had to get rid of the guy because obviously we are from Percy's Grub Room and we only support personal growing, or you know, the guys who grow legally for medical use. We're not interested in supporting any
Yeah, that's personal too,
unregulated
though.
market shit. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, yeah.
and he was talking about selling these buds and that. We just don't roll like that. That's not what we're here for. We're here to help you learn how to grow, not for you to learn how to make money. That's not how we roll.
And I clocked a question right from the beginning of the podcast. Somebody asked, "What are the best newts for growing weed?"
Ugh, that's a big
On
question.
Depends, well,
On
depends, well, you're
Yeah,
growing in.
It depends. Actually, we've covered that already in one of the episodes, man. I think it might have been episode 2 with you as well, Spartan. I think we've already covered that.
Ah, that's because I wasn't here.
You know, there's so much
I
to
wasn't asleep on the
answering
motorway.
what nutrients were the best ones. It's just it takes an episode upon itself because it takes a lot on what your different circumstances are. You know, can you be there every day? Can you get automated watering setups? Can you put up with the noise of a hydroponic system with pumps running all the time? There's a lot of things that need to be taken into account. But, most people seem to say if you can go super soil, live in organic soil, then go that direction because that's going to be the most sustainable and environmentally friendly way to grow. Everybody agree with that?
Yeah. Well,
I think
biasly, I do. Yeah.
Is
end product flavor.
You know your runoff and the likes of that for cocoa. You know the likes of the runoff that we have in cocoa, Mackie, when we use and that. Is that bad to throw onto the flowers or into the grass?
What you mean? Well, the runoff. Yeah, you can pour it onto your grass or something like that. And use it in a flow,
is that eco-friendly?
Well, not really, because it's salt-based nutrients, but it's better than throwing it down the toilet or down the drain, where it's going to be put into a water system like that. Because that'll be washed down into the like a lake or the sea, and then nutrients feed the algae, and it messes with the whole ecosystem. So you have to try and dispose of your nutrients properly.
Yeah, water cleaning systems and treatment systems have to work. You know, they have chemicals that take that shit out. So the less chemicals they have to use, the better too, right?
Yeah.
So
if I pour it into my septic tank, would that be a better way of getting rid of it?
I don't know what a septic tank is, really, mate.
A septic tank is where all your poop and pee goes into when you don't.
They think they take that shit away and they have to process it too.
But the septic tanks usually go to a drain field, which goes into your own water supply eventually.
Yeah.
But the idea is it's not, I don't know. So when you're dumping these on your plants and you're dumping these on your grass and things, the idea is those plants are able to pull up some of the mineral nutrition out of the water. The water continue, you know, and that way it doesn't get into the water supply, which is a good thing for the environment.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, if it's in a high enough concentration, you could be annihilating all your microbiology on the way down by if it's salty enough, it's going to just absorb the water around them and desiccate these microbes.
Yeah,
that's kind of a that's kind of a disadvantage. But I don't know, you just make your own decision on that. I think it kind of balances as it's like a neutral thing. You know what I mean? It's like kind of,
just try and get as much use out of it as possible.
Probably the amount of runoff wouldn't be substantial enough, really.
Wouldn't be huge for me anyway. Now,
but yeah,
if you had it like if you had it in like a 5-gallon bucket and it was like maybe half full is what your runoff was, just fill that bucket all the way full with regular water, dilute it down a little bit, then throw it out on the grass. That way it'd be such a dilute amount that it's like
not going to make a problem.
Most of the minerals are going to be pulled up and it's going to be less salt levels to be a danger to most of the microbes.
Yeah.
Well, very did not know that.
So we had a question up on Facebook as well from Phil Monk, who was guest last week. Because we were talking about Jorge being on the show and stuff, and he said, "Can you ask him if there is an auto irrigation system for a personal practice in organic indoor cultivation in soil? All I can find says to avoid organic nutrients and use mineral-based newts to avoid fermentation and build up in the lines." I mean, you know anything about this, Spartan? You know,
he's asking a way to automatically feed in an organic situation. That's what he's asking.
Yeah, an automated irrigation system for personal practice in indoor organic cultivation in soil.
Right, so you can feed organically to just water, so you shouldn't have any issues.
Sorry, wrong fucking one. Why's the tune come on there? My bad. I'll put it back on. Sorry about that, everybody.
What's that?
I played the tune again in the background. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The wrong button. It's because I'm stoned. Carry on. Sorry.
So I would say that I wouldn't I wouldn't worry about clogs if you're running just water. Make sure all your nutrition's in your soil bed. You know, if it's not, you have a deficiency, you can address that with a foliar feed rather than trying to feed through your lines,
Mm.
or you can top dress things to get nutrition back into your soil and get that cycling.
I mean, that's right. With a good
Water,
organic
but
soil, you should only need
yeah,
to use water. You shouldn't need anything else, really,
yeah,
unless it comes
it's
close to the end.
exactly.
That's the whole point.
So
Mm.
yeah, so and then as far as watering systems, a blue mat is a or blue mat, however you want to pronounce it. That's one that a lot of organic users like and use. I don't. I've never tried it or used it, so I can't recommend it or not recommend it. You have Autopot has a systems that will do bottom feeding sip kind of a situation that you can tie to reses.
Mm.
Another option.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so many just. I mean, you can get regular irrigation lines from the hardware store, like you'd run in a garden or you'd run in your own yard, and you could hook up your own. All you need is some kind of a container to hold X amount of water, however big you want your res to be, and then hook your water lines with little water feeds and do top watering if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
You can get as automated as you'd like to get. If you're feeding just water, you shouldn't have issues with it plugging lines or anything like that, and that's what it sounds like you're worried about.
Yeah, this is how Twisted, one of our members, grows. He goes away for weeks at a time, but he leaves his plants running with just water running into living soil. And he can
Yeah,
go away for a
so
couple of weeks at a time, and he's got it on a timer, so it only feeds at certain times as well, with a pump to
Yeah.
pump it through. It's
As long
super
as the
cool.
power stays good, then he's good, right?
Mm.
Well, I've got to say, I mean, so far I'm quite impressed with this home soil, and that's water only. That is producing some real nice looking plants actually. And you can buy one of those like timers that's attached to a tap that you can just digitally program 15 or 16 watts it's a day in and water it every flipping little bits every now and then
Nice.
stop. They're about a fiver on eBay.
So it can be done pretty cheap as well, and it will save a lot of effort because it is hard work sometimes to move water backwards and forwards for feeding the plants and things like that. Link it up right from the tap would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, you can use like they call float valves, like what's used in toilets and things like
Mhm.
in your res. So it'll just constantly keep your res topped off, and if you're feeding just water, it should work indefinitely.
Nice.
Really.
We had a question there from Noob Grower as well about colloidal silver and making fem seeds. TG, that's your sort of thing. You want to quickly cover that one?
What was the question? I didn't see it.
It was way early.
How to do it?
How people use colloidal silver to make fem seeds?
Oh. Well, you need the proper ratio. I've never done it myself, but so I don't know if I'm the best person to speak about it. But basically, you need the proper amount of silver in suspension in your solution, whether it's from colloidal silver or silver thiosulfate. And effectively, you just spray that on your plant that you know is a female. And what the silver does is it suppresses the female hormone called ethylene. And when there's no ethylene produced, I guess the plant will produce male flowers instead. So that male flowers that are produced on that female only plant contain only female genes. As we know, XX is the female, XY is the male, and if your plant that you're getting your pollen from, even though the pollen is a male reproductive part, the genetics inside of it, because it came from a female plant, are still XX. And then when you pollinate another female plant with that pollen, you're only left with X's in the resulting progeny, and therefore you only get females from that batch of seeds.
Nice.
So yeah, that's effectively how you do it.
But don't smoke the buds once it's been sprayed with colloidal silver.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
They look all fucky anyway. You don't get any buds because you're trying to grow male. Yeah, it looks.
Yeah. I suppose they look fucked up. I've never done it before,
But-
man.
Yeah. Have you ever femmed seeds, Spartan?
Not on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point too. Hermes, when you get them, like the pollen, it'll still have those XX genes in it, right? But there'll be that propensity to have those Hermes genetics carried forward. Whereas the silver is your doing. So because unless you spray silver on the next batch, they shouldn't have that built-in propensity, right? So yeah, I've had that, fem seeds by accident as well too, and they do work, but you run risk of having a shitload of male flowers come out in the next batch, and then fucking with your shit again. So, yeah, silver is probably the way to go.
Yeah, man. Sweet. So I think that's all the questions we got. We haven't had any more pop up in chat. So it's that time of the week. Let's do it.
Right. In the game.
I'm terrible at this game.
I'm terrible at these, mate. I fucking write them. It's ridiculous. So let's get straight into this. You know the rules, man. It's going to be a fake one. You're going to tell me which one the fake one is. So I've got 3 of it here, but pretty much fake. All of them seem fake as fuck. I hope I catch you all out like I did last week. Was it last week when I scored Full House, pal?
Yeah.
Only because I made a cock up and didn't really listen to one of them.
All right, guys. Before he says anything, let's make a pact. Let's all pick a different answer than he's.
Yo, the controversy.
Yeah.
All right, number 1. Let's do it. All right, here we go. In all of written history, there is no evidence of anyone ever overdosing on cannabis. True or false? Here's number 2. In 2009, a man set the world record for smoking the greatest number of joints, 115,000. Okay, that's a lot of joints, by the way.
Is that in one sitting? What does that mean?
I'll reveal that afterwards. Yeah, I won't give you any information. No, I will win this. And number 3. In 2014, doctors from 48 states in the USA were asked if cannabis should be legalized for medicine. 8 out of 10 of them said yes. So there we go. There's the truthful spoofs this week. Spartan, you want to take it first, man? Because you're the guest.
Yeah, I'm going to say that last one is probably the false one because the doctors are so scared of the pharma that I find it hard to believe that 80% of them would go against big pharma. So that's what I'm going to say, especially in 2014.
I didn't say 80%. I said 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I know it's the same. I'm taking the piss. I'm not dumb. Honest. I'm just joking. So Spartan, you're going to go with number 3, man. You happy with that?
Yep, that's what I'm going with. I'm happy with that one. Yep.
TG, you want to take it away?
Sure. So yeah, I think number 1 is probably true because I don't know. That's kind of a common thing that pro cannabis people throw around, and for good reason. Number 2 seems like pretty impossible, but it's pretty vague, so I don't know. There must be some kind of loophole. But I'm gonna go with number 3 too because I agree with Spartan that like the doctors. I mean, maybe in an anonymous thing that would be true, but I don't think that 80% of them, because I don't think we even have that here in Canada yet. So I think they're still like slave to the Benjamins, going with big pharma. So yeah, I'm gonna go with number 3 also.
Okay, ZN. Down to you. Which one's fake?
2 again. What's number 2 again?
I will show
I
you.
can get it right. What's it this time?
In 2009, a man set the world record for smoking the greatest number of joints, 115,000.
Oh, I'm going to go with that one being bullshit. Yeah, that's the one I thought to start with.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And GB, it's down to you, man. Nice and easy.
What was the first one?
Let me check.
Dosing on cannabis.
Yeah. In all of written history, there is no evidence of anyone ever overdosing on cannabis.
See, that's the thing. I don't think there's anybody ever after overdosing on cannabis ever. Can you overdose on cannabis?
That's what it says. It says that in written history there's never been anybody. So is it true or is it false? And you're looking for the false one.
And we're looking for the false one.
Yeah, you're always looking for the false one in Truthful Spook.
I know, and I make this mistake every fucking week, I think. Right. I am going to go with number 1.
Number 1.
So you're saying that you believe that it's a
bastards? Is that because of the pact you've made there? Because we've got 1, 2, and 3.
I think number 1 is a false statement completely.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I gotta go number 1.
Cool. So that's everybody. And everybody in the chat there.
They
We've
do
got
have a
Invero
spread.
saying 3. Wally saying number 2. Invero's saying number 3. I've already read that out. Yep.
Oh, it looks like I'm solo
So,
number 1. I hope
right,
I win.
okay. Here we go. We'll go backwards. Number 3. In 2014, doctors from 48 states in the USA were asked if cannabis should be legalized for medicine, and 8 out of 10 of them said yes. That is a true statement.
I call bullshit.
Yeah. You know, I'll really have to start leaving the sources where I find these things so people can check them out after. You know,
Where are those
but yeah, this
doctors
is I
Dr.
don't know,
Chong
48
and
different
Dr.
states. You know, it doesn't say what doctors they were. You know, this
Dr.
one was a
Dre.
doctor in astrology. You know?
Yeah.
This guy was a doctor in psychedelic mushrooms. You know,
Dr. Dre, he has a fucking kush, and Dr. What's that
There
new
you
guy
go.
with Redman? Dr. Fuck. I gotta look him
New
up. He's
age, just
fucking-
any fucking new age healer.
and that's it. And maybe they asked fucking, I don't know, a certain amount to make the maths balance out while I was going to do
Well,
the maths.
maybe it was anonymous. We'll say
Dr.
that. Maybe it was
Khan.
anonymous. Then-
Dr. Khan.
But I think
aka
maybe the main
Lazarus.
issue is when it's recreational uses legalized. I think a lot of doctors say because there's definite proof that it helps with epilepsy. So a lot of the doctors have been seeing that for a long time and say that it should be
Well,
legalized for
let's
that
be-
use.
Let's be real. A lot of the doctors are the ones smoking this stuff.
Well, they all do coke, innit? Because they don't want to do weed because it stayed in the system for too long. So they're
And
forced
plus,
to do class
and
A's.
plus
It's true.
they all do coke because they can afford to do coke.
Yeah.
But there's a difference. There's a difference, my man.
Anyway, so number 2. Let's do number 2.
Fucking.
In 2009, a man set a world record for smoking the greatest number of joints, 115,000. And this is also true, but I think I'll beat this guy. So I don't know about that. This
So it was
guy
115,000 in his life. I mean, that's
in
not.
28 years is what
Oh,
they said. It was.
bollocks. No,
Because
you didn't say that
he's,
to start with.
What, nobody asked? Spartan
Oh,
asked what I was reading. It should refresh my
bollocks.
memory. In
Divided
2009, a
over-
man did set the world record, apparently, for smoking the greatest number of joints. 115,000 in 28 years is a medical user in the USA who smokes between 10 and 12 joints every day.
I was just going
Oh,
to say
fuck
that's
that.
only
I do that in the
11.66
morning.
That's what I'm
a
saying.
day.
Yeah, you know,
I smoke that a day. I
Yeah.
smoke more than that a day.
You know,
I've had more
Exactly
than 115,000 in
115,000.
the last 10 years. Then, in that case,
you know, I want 28 years and a load of weed, and I want to outdo this guy.
Fucking
But,
hell, man.
who's
I'll be
sponsoring
fine.
us?
40
Okay, but hang on. So,
So,
shh,
GB,
this means
congratulations
I'm
on the
the-
sole survivor. Look at the wording of this. Look at the wording of this. In all
Yeah,
of
if
this,
you cannot see my
there is no
happy
evidence of
dance.
anyone ever overdosing on cannabis. Man, I've overdosed on cannabis and fucking whited up and been sick all
Yeah,
over the fucking
but that's not
place, man.
overdosing. That's
No,
just
it's
What do you
not.
mean by
harmful effect.
overdose?
You're
Yeah.
talking about people dying from cannabis,
Exactly.
man, and
That's
not
overdosing, man.
That's taking far too much, where it's having a detrimental effect on the body.
Yeah. You see, when people say overdose, they expect you to be like fucking after hanging there with a fucking needle hanging out of your arm, fucking foaming at the mouth. That's overdosing.
That's what I was hoping.
No.
Yeah, sleeping
as
with a bunch of crumbs on your beard isn't an overdose.
No, I do. Men like us do that constantly. You always and you know what it is? It's for saving some food for later. I've fucking found a Rolo fucking in there earlier on. I was like, oh man. Oh.
Don't, man. You're starting my Corona chest off. It definitely wasn't the spliff I've just lit. It's nothing to do with that. It's just
So
a
yeah,
lot
so
of
I'm the winner this week, man.
You are the
Fuck
winner.
yeah.
the champion.
you don't win
Congratulations.
shit. You know that, don't you?
I know. I'm just happy to have the kudos for once because I'm always fucking wrong, man.
Because you always get the idea of the game wrong. We have to remind you
I
every
know.
week.
No, it's just devil's lettuce.
Yeah.
But that's the whole idea of the show, man. You know, we all
I
get
know.
stoned and we all chat shit. You all need to remember that as well. We're not doctors. We are not professionals. We are just here being stoners chatting shit, man. Don't believe a word we say about anything.
I stand. I think you're wrong
Speak for
there,
yourself.
my man.
Yeah,
I
speak
would
for yourself.
say-
I'm a professional.
Yeah, I don't
We
know.
are. We is professional stoners.
Look, I'm just giving a broad disclaimer. You know, so we
Do not
can't get fucked over
constitute
some
any
shit
of what we
say.
say as medical advice.
Yeah.
No.
We do not give
Now,
medical advice.
I am prescribing ye all a gram of fucking shatter.
Excellent.
Go take it, and you'll all have a great evening.
I await the
Sleep
postman.
like a fucking baby. Take that prescription
Grab a
and take it to
shatter,
your
man.
doctor. Tell him
Fucking
GB,
guy.
Dr. GB sent you.
Thank you, Dr. GB.
My
Are you one of them
doctor won't
doctors
have
they
none
asked
of
in
it.
that study?
No. But do you know I actually did go into a hotel once. I won't say my name, and they had on the thing, doctor, blah 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 blah. I was like, oh, they made a mistake. Yes, I am a doctor. How is that? Get out of my way.
It's like that
Oh.
joke, man. I saw a joke somewhere. Guy's having a heart attack on the plane, and he's like, "Is there a doctor in the house?" And the guy comes running over, and he's like fucking a chiropodist or something. He's
I'm
not
a
even a
doctor.
medical doctor. He's a doctor in something. He's a doctor in English history. I'll save the day.
Write everything down and document it for you.
Right, so
I will read you from this passage.
well done, GB. Well done. I still have to go through all the episodes and try and figure out what the tally is on all this. but
I'm winning. I
we
know
should.
it.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Stone Quotes. Let's do it.
Oh,
Man, like I had a thing
do
to
what,
do,
man?
you know, where you talk, man. When the cat talks, I got a thing to say, man. I was gonna say it, but I forgot it, man.
See, everybody goes quiet, and well, when the tune's playing there, and Zian's just like, "What? What's going on?" I'm like, I have to mute the whole panel again. You just
No, you know. I was reading somebody's comment in chat. Oh God.
That chat box is distracting, isn't it? Because it's
I
just
know,
there.
it's just-
very
It's right in front
distracting
of the screen the
sometimes.
whole time, and I'm reading that sometimes.
Yeah,
It's-
I
it's-
know.
You can't concentrate.
People
on the
don't
show, start reading the
appreciate.
chat.
I
People
forgot
watching.
about
That's the one thing
monkey.
they don't realize, man. How hard that is to keep up in chat and with a conversation at the same time.
Tell
So
me about it. Wow.
It is quite difficult.
I'm having another spliff anyway. I don't care.
I normally I tend to zone out of the actual podcast, and I'll just look, and then I lose what's been said and everything.
Excuses. You just
I've got some
high on the
good
devil's
shit
lettuce.
today.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
massively.
sorry,
And
it's TG,
a
man,
it's hat
TG.
on my homegrown.
It is the Stoner quote from some guy.
Yeah, some guy.
Some guy.
Sure, somebody famous probably didn't come up with this. I don't know. It's a good quote. It actually, like, I never know what the topics are before I come up with these, and sometimes like the Thomas Edison one worked out really well. And this ties in really well actually to what the grow guides again this week actually. So yeah, I mean, if you do decide to do any sort of infusions, do be careful, because some guy, a very wise some guy, once said, "Cookies aren't for rookies. Newbies start with doobies."
Nice. I like that.
You know, yeah, because like cookies, they can be pretty potent, and once you eat that shit, you know, they always have the stereotypes, you know, you don't feel it, and then you eat some more, and then you're on like fucking Mars for 10 hours, and it can happen, especially in the case of new people, because you have no tolerance, you have no experience, so
You know, it's like
do be careful.
we've been doing this show for a while, and the listeners all know that we all use a lot of cannabis. That's my
Yeah.
cough to prove it.
Oh,
It's that
so
COVID.
right.
I
Now it's
smoke a
turned-
lot, man. If I hit edibles, I'm finished.
You need to
Finished.
make your mind up whether it's a corona cough or a weed cough, young man.
It depends if I'm in Tesco or not. If I'm in Tesco, then I'm like, no, it's just
No, I'll be totally the opposite.
it's Corona.
Yeah,
Stay the
fuck
fuck
yeah,
back.
cannabis.
Get back.
They will stay away
Education.
from me.
Man.
Go Miami, man. Go Miami. Go Heat. Fuck the
I
Lakers.
told somebody in Tool Station today, I said, don't worry, it's just corona. And then thought, yeah, I wasn't meant to say that.
Wrong
That'd be, like,
word.
proper gone out. And I went, no, I meant to say it's just a weed cough, but, you know.
I've gotten some dirty looks standing outside of my front step, coughing and hacking after a bong rip, and then it's like, "Look, it's a bong, it's a bong, it's not,
It's okay."
you know.
Well, I'll tell you what, you lot are just lucky I've got a mute button, that's all I'm saying.
Yo, people are saying in the chat there that we need to compile a list of like the funniest moments. If you guys are listening to the podcast and you're like, that is fucking funny, they should put that in a clip, then send me the timestamp of it and shit, and I'll get it and I'll put it in the clip. I can't go through all the episodes and pick out what's funny. I think
Yeah,
everything I say is pretty hilarious. To
yeah,
be fair.
exactly. We think we're fucking hilarious, man. So we just repeat the whole episode.
Yeah, that's it. Just repeat the whole funny moments. 2 hours and 20 minutes long. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Man, it's just good banter all the time.
If you think what does be funny that does be said during the show, sometimes geez, you should hear what does be on Higher and Homegrown or in some of the fucking after shows.
Or what goes on when we're muted in the background of the interview.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Right, let's move on to the outro and then we can chat some more shit. Hold on. Pow. That's the outro screen. I didn't put music to it this time because it was too loud in the background. But everybody, thanks for joining us, man. It's always a pleasure to spend our Sunday nights with you all. Hit the like button if you haven't already. And we need you to share if you can share. And like I said earlier, you're on some kind of social network. I know you are. I've seen it. All right. So make sure you go out there and find High on Homegrown, like the page, subscribe, or follow, whatever you have to do on that particular social network. So you're just trying to big up the social media accounts there. So help us out. Share if you can. That's important. Share. The more people that can share, the better. If you all went out and got one friend to come back next week, we double the amount of audience, just like that. It just takes one person to get one person. Just so if you can, please do so.
Like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe. Get high on Homegrown.
I want to give a shout out too to this weekend. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving to everybody.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, I don't know if
you
you
guys
guys do
Happy Thanksgiving.
in the motherland over in Britain there, but yeah, it's Thanksgiving, so hopefully everybody's staying safe. I'm not going home to see my parents for COVID related reasons. They don't have COVID. I don't have COVID, but just be safe.
Just stay safe.
I might have it. You've been on the show with me today, so you might pass on. I haven't been tested. I don't know. It might just be a cold and shit, or it might just because we smoked a lot of weed this week, bro.
That's
what works for me.
Might be both.
Yeah, it's a bit of both. That's what I've got going on at the minute.
I'm saying, big up to Cannabis Education as well there from cannabisinstitute.com. Awesome fucking website. If you haven't checked it out yet, get over it. We're going to get him on the show one day. He's just very busy. I want to get him on the show so we can talk about edibles. That'd be sweet.
I have a small shout out as well, if possible.
No.
No, that's it now. Goodbye, everybody.
Oh, no. Don't do that to me.
Come on, Chippy, let's go.
I'm fucking
hang on a minute.
Quick, everybody put him under more pressure so he stumbles for longer.
It's a quick shout out to a chap Omar in the urban gardening. It's a grow shop over on the north side of Dublin. Omar is a fucking savage. He's a sound bloke, and he really knows his shit. He runs a really, really clean place, and it's really nice. It's not too spacious, but everything is laid out really well, and you can see it all. And he's a really sound bloke. So I just said I'd like to say a shout out to him. And he hooked me up with a few bits and pieces as well. So he's pretty cool.
Nice, so there we go.
Oh yeah, Ma.
That is the end of the show, everybody. Let's get the music playing in the background there. Thanks again for joining us. Remember, go find us on some of those social networks and follow the page. And maybe comment, leave a review, let people know that you like the show, because that's the best way we're going to grow is just by grassroots. Letting you guys go out and tell your friends so we get more people in. Let's build it up. Let's get some more interviews on. I will get that Joe Rogan on here. If you hear this, Joe Rogan, you are coming on this show, boy. It's gonna happen.
Joe.
I mean,
not taking no for an answer.
Even if I have to go through Alex Jones to get there.
Hey, that's what you gotta do. You gotta get everybody around him, get them all on, and then they'll convince him to come on.
Well, Graham Hancock's coming at the end of the year, hopefully. Graham Hancock should be coming on.
That'll be a good one. I'm fucking pumped, man.
That's got to be a long one. We're going to be talking about some shit.
I think we might talk some other things about, talk about other things than maybe just some.
Well, it's going to be like, you smoke weed, right? It's like, yeah, like, cool. What about these pyramids then? Right. We've got to go then, lads, because that's the end of the show. Anybody else want to say anything? GB, you saying something there? No. We're good.
I think we're good.
Thanks for joining us,
safe,
Spartan.
guys.
It's been a massive pleasure having you.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much, Spartan. That's great.
Yeah, man.
Anytime, man. It's been a blast hanging out.
Nice one. Right, thank you everybody in the chat for joining us, and thanks if you're listening when the episode isn't live. Thanks for listening too. We appreciate it. Don't forget to share, and we'll see you next week. Good times. Everybody say bye. Let's do the fade off bye thing. Goodbye.
Bye.
Famous thing.
Goodbye.
But you're not.
We are a bunch of knobs, mate. It's the way it is. How are you saying?